welcome everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Lightbringer, our official session 1, since last week was kind of our session 0. Yeah, we've got some cool stuff going on, and we've got our full cast here today. So we're going to do some introductions in just a moment. Before we do, just to explain how a few things work with viewer interactions for all of you. You may notice there are some things listed right below my face. These are ways that you can interact with the show yourself. So you can actually affect what's happening in the game. Most of those are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them that might not be. The switch allows whoever's using it to switch somebody else's action. So for example, if I had a bad guy swing, a sword at somebody, they can say, switch. And so instead of attacking with their sword, maybe they're doing something else. So that's a pretty cool one. Roll with advantage just means you get to roll twice, take the better of the two results. Borrowed success is a new one for this season. With a borrowed success, you automatically succeed at whatever it is you're trying to do, but for each roll after that, I will make a roll, and if it comes up with a particular number, in tonight's case we'll go with 15, then you lose that success in the future. So it's one of those things where you can use it when you really need to have that success, but you may automatically fail at something in the future. So it's an interesting one. Complication allows you to throw whatever you want into the game. We had a really fun one not too long ago from Econorlax, actually, with a giant Bigfoot space chicken that we had to deal with. It was really fun.
That was lovely and well-timed.
Which, incidentally, correlates to the $15 one, which is Duck Dale making an appearance. Duck was my character in that one shot that we did. Everybody really enjoyed him quite a bit. So for a few games, I've added him in as an option of making an appearance. We just had him show up in Legends of the Badlands on Saturday.
Which made sense.
Yeah, it was fun. He's basically your stereotypical, sort of redneck mechanic type guy, as a representation of a lot of my extended family, because I grew up in the South. Anyways, he's a lot of fun. That's why he's there. And then the Phoenix Astra is, if they would be reduced to 0 HP or below, rather than dying or going unconscious, they get reduced just to 1 hit point instead, sort of a safety net. So if you've got characters that you're really concerned about, you really don't want to see them die, you can throw that out there. Aside from that, there are other things that you can interact with via guild coins, which you can see in Twitch itself, right below the chat window. That little round, rainbow-colored coin-looking thing. There's other options. You're welcome to click there and see what you can do there with those guild coins. And you get those just from watching and interacting with the stream. With that, I think that's about everything for how you can interact. So let's do some intros and find out about our players and how they're going to interact with the game. We'll go in a circle, so starting with Michael. Tell us a little bit about Billy and where we can find you on the internet and that sort of thing.
Well, Billy Bliss is a scavenger, which kind of talks a bit like this most of the time, but we'll find out if that changes in combat. I'm mostly on Michael Wayne on Twitter, MyKalWane. I'm just about here and there. You give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF.
Fantastic. And passing it down to Econorlax, tell us a little bit about Nira and a little bit about yourself. Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I'm just fixing.
Holding down space helps unmute you.
Hi everybody, my name is Econorlax. You can find me under it on Twitter and here on Twitch. As for now, I'm mostly a TTRPG player here at Blackfeather Girl. And my character is Nira. She's a pretty Kataran, she's white kitten, small even for a kid of her species. But she likes it. She can sneak into places to take a closer look at things. Her curiosity already has put her in trouble more than a dozen times. She's wearing a dusty leather coat. That's probably way older than her. Pass me down. It's yellowed in uneven patches, though her fur under it is uniform white. She has goggles on her neck to protect her eyes from dust. And as for her character, well, she likes to make some things clear, so let's do that. She wasn't sneaking into places and stealing things. She was just training to be a scavenger. And it's not her fault everything in town belongs to somebody already. She is not a coward, she is brave and self-reliant, but hiding and avoiding problems is smart, not cowardly.
Perfect.
And most important thing, she's a big kitten, she is not small, she is just tiny, but she's old kitten and adult, okay?
I love it. Fantastic.
So, that's her.
All right, and passing it along to Ty, tell us a little bit about Magic, a little bit about yourself, and where we can find you online.
Right on, yeah. So I'm gonna be playing Magic. He's a nice young, blonde-haired, blue-eyed young man, and he's pretty submissive. He's really curious about the outside world, as we all are, but too scared to do it by himself. So he's grateful of this opportunity of everybody wanting to go out, because as long as everybody's out there to protect him, he's willing to go. But just a real nice kid, and yeah, you can find me at Ty_Stackhouse on Twitter and on Twitch at just Ty Stackhouse without the underscore. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And then Gwen, tell us a little bit about Xavier and where we can find you as well.
So Xavier is an interesting young man. He's curious to a point and not above deception. That's all we know about him so far.
Unlike some of us.
Yes. Speaking of which, Callan, tell us a little bit about Conrad and a little about yourself as well.
Yes, Conrad is a delightful young lad. He's a sort of foppish, nervous young British engineer who just wants to be left alone in his room, but has been swept on a big adventure. He tries to avoid confrontation, and he is unable to tell a lie. I think he vomited twice last session. So I'm excited to see if we can bump those numbers up. It'll be good.
Perfect.
I am Callan, and you can find me at my name on Twitter. Currently posting some game dev stuff, just having some fun getting back into game development, but mostly just tabletop and Twitter things. Excited to be here.
Awesome. We are very excited to have you here as well. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was twice the vomiting. There was lots more word vomit, just words pouring out. But it was great. Perfect. So when we left off previously, I believe Conrad, Xavier, and Billy, you were all pretty much gathering up at the entrance to the tunnel that you're planning to take to try and find your way to the surface. It had just begun, I guess it was getting on into the night cycle. The city that you're in this giant cavern underneath the ground does have a day and night cycle. The day cycle is artificially generated light. It approximates sunlight and that sort of thing. And then at night, those are powered down, and there are lots of bioluminescent plants that grow throughout the cavern, which provide some illumination at night, approximating, what the moon of the planet, or moons, I believe. There are a couple of moons on Kara.
Allegedly.
Anyways, yes. Not that you all would know for sure. But meta knowledge, I believe there are 2 moons for Kara, which is the planet that you're on. Anyways, the lights have been powered down. It's mostly bioluminescent light at the moment, and you're planning to meet Magic and Nira there. They had already previously said that they would meet you there in the evening. Before we do that, let me grab my notebook here. because we'll start with Econorlax. I need you to roll a 1d6, and then let me know if you get a 1 or a 6.
I roll in d20. So you will see.
Perfect.
3.
3, okay. Where are my... where are my Lightbringer notes?
I think that was what Michael got as well.
I think you're
I got a
correct.
3.
And
I
Quinn and I got
believe Gwen-
6s.
Yes.
Perfect, there it is. Okay, I found them. Took me a second. This is why I need more bookmarks for my notebook. Okay, so Nira got a 3. Perfect. And Ty, let me have you roll 1d6 for magic.
For magic.
Yeah. Then it should just be /R 1d6.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry, that was me retyping.
There you
it.
go.
Oh, no worries. Okay, so magic got a 4. So our players don't know why I'm asking them to roll this yet. But it's going to come up later. Probably not tonight, but in future episodes, it will be significant and mean a certain thing in regards to some hidden attributes about their characters. Okay. So we had 2 that rolled a 1 or a 6, and 3 that rolled something else. Very interesting. So with that out of the way, Magic and Nira, as you are heading over to meet up with the rest of the group, no doubt you've either told your parents what you're doing, or lied about it, or just snuck out. Rather than play all that out, because we do want to get into the tunnels, let's start with Magic. Which do you think you did? Did you sneak out, tell your folks, or did you lie?
Oh, I lied to my parents, and I feel so guilty about it because I've never lied before ever in my life, and I feel like I'm gonna cry because, you know, like I wish I could have just preserved a whole life of no lying, but here I am. So let's go.
You're gonna get along great with Conrad. And then if there was, say, 1, maybe 2 things that you could take from your home along with you, you know, the whole concept of the house is burning down, you can only grab 1 or 2 things. What couple things did you grab?
An encyclopedia, because knowledge is everything, and
Perfect.
We're gonna have 2 encyclopedias here.
2 encyclopedias. No, I'm just kidding. No, one encyclopedia and a toothbrush, because of course.
Toothbrush. That's probably smart.
But you know, Xavier already brought encyclopedia.
Well, yeah, Billy is having to carry half of Xavier's stuff because Xavier brought a tote bag full of books.
Oh, did they really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's gonna be great. And then for Nira, same question. Did you lie, sneak out, or tell the truth? And then what item or 2 did you bring?
I told the truth that I'm going for a bit longer scavenging trip.
Okay. So, so a carefully constructed truth.
Yep. And I have some basic tools and survival kit. I mean blanket and pry bar. Little pry bar because I'm little.
Perfect. I love
You're
it.
gonna get along very well with Xavier.
Perfect. I love this group dynamic already. Okay. So you've made it to... You've caught up with everybody. Billy, Conrad, and Xavier. There's enough supplies there for everyone as far as food and things like that. So you're all geared up. You've even got a tent that Billy's father let him take out. You're ready to go into the tunnel. The tunnel ahead is very dark, almost pitch black, because it's not really in use. Nobody really uses those tunnels except for when they need to try to find a particular resource for one reason or another, which is pretty darn rare, or for maintenance issues like making sure that there's no erosion or things like that. There are some other tunnels that are used more frequently because they are basically roadways to the other cities. But this is not one of them. This one goes up rather than horizontal. So as you're standing here at the entrance to this adventure, what do you say to each other?
Hey!
Hey,
Hello.
Can you believe?
Hi.
Can you believe they trust me with the tent?
Oh goodness, we're still. Yes, we have a tent. Hi, hello.
Hi.
is that everything a tent?
No, this is just very important because this is the family tent. No,
I know, but it looks you have much more than tent. What are you carrying there?
Well, yeah, whatever Xavier said.
Books. Lots of books. Too many books, maybe.
No, you can never have too many books.
Yeah,
We have too many books. You can have too many books. We have them.
don't worry, we'll burn some.
But
No, 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 no,
They're not for burning?
no.
No. Maybe. No. Hi. Hello. It's. Goodness. It feels like we've been.
I'm feeling some hostility here.
Wait, that's just one use, okay? I got my rope, I got flint, just the general basics. But they're mostly the same stuff I have me on all the time, so.
It's sentimental value maybe aside. It is big enough to fit the 5 of us, which is good. Certainly, I know that we don't have much in the way of survival gear. Nira, Magic, how did the 2 of you fare?
Well, no, yeah, everything was pretty good. As I said, I was feeling really sad, but you know what? I'm really grateful that your parents let us use the tent. I'm gonna have to make sure to remember to write them a thank you card because that is just so great.
I know, right?
I'm so excited for this journey, guys.
I know, and it's the same one. Grandpa tried to put a knife into it, and nothing happened. So it's very impressive they trust me with it.
It's very durable, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love the material.
Excuse me. So April has spent some guild coins on the bust a rhyme option and directed that at me. So for the next 5 minutes, I will be trying my darndest to end everything I say with a rhyme. Starting now.
Goodness.
So you've managed to talk a lot about the tent, hoping very, very much so that the poles don't get bent. You've made your introductions. What was that?
Is it claw resistant?
Allegedly.
I think so.
I sometimes get bad dreams and I claw a lot.
Well, I don't know. Is your claws like a knife?
Yeah, a little.
Oh, Grandpa tested it many times, getting angry at my dad, and it stood up.
Oh, okay, fine.
So you've made your introductions. You've made sure that as far as rations go, you're not going to want some. Where do you go from now? I've got nothing for now. I am terrible at this.
Xavier
Well,
will pull out the map and say, "Okay, our goal is to get to here tonight. If we can just get to here, we can set up camp, and then we can get the rest of the way there."
Yeah, it'll
Goodness.
make for a great powwow.
Yeah, yeah. This is a big
journey.
What was it? Supply room? Yeah, this is going to be a really long journey, and this is on the map. There's a supply room, I think.
An equipment room, I think, from
Yeah,
memory.
equipment room. Yeah, equipment
Yes.
room.
You're all able to remember that it is where you're going is an equipment room, and you're hoping
Yeah.
that in there you will find a great boon.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
I
let's
like the name.
Scavenge.
Well, Xavier, I appreciate the enthusiasm. I'm not sure. We are in a hallway, so I think the map may be of more use once we come to an intersection of some description.
Yeah.
It's just one big long tunnel right now. One big long dark scary tunnel, if I could add, actually. I realize now, as Conrad holds up a lit candle that's giving about 1.5 feet of illumination, I may be underprepared for this particular aspect of our journey. Did anyone bring like a torch or something?
Well, all we need to do is grab a stick and bam, wrap one of those pages around it, and boom, you got yourself a torch.
It depends on what page. If you're talking about,
I don't think the credits or the table of contents are that important.
The
well,
bibliography.
the table of contents are very important, but you're right. The forward is.
Question.
Well, the forward is also very important.
Question for
I
Conrad.
guess.
Holding that candle, is it on a stand? I'm curious lest you burn your hand.
It's very much held within my hand. And looking at it very nervously as wax starts to drip down and just blow it out. Nira, Magic, did you bring light or anything more useful than our detritus?
One question to GM before I answer. May I?
Sure.
More like two questions. How exactly small are Katarans? And how exactly big is Billy?
Well, Billy would be about, I'd say, about 5'2", I would think, because that's about how tall I was about that age.
Okay.
Or was I already to 6 feet at that time?
I'd say
every game-
Katarans are roughly hobbit-sized small, while as Billy is exceptionally tall.
Yeah, so Kataran would be about maybe 2 foot at this age.
Okay, so 2 foot and few inches shy. Okay.
Yeah.
So more like 20 inches, I guess. Okay. And the other question is about night vision of cats.
Right.
Yes, you do have better vision in the dark, though it's not like you can see things super detailed, so I wouldn't say it's quite stark.
But I
And I can
suppose
stop rhyming now.
I have to walk before the fire, so actually I don't get blinded.
That's a good idea.
Okay. So thanks, that's all I wanted to know. So to answer in character the question, well, I don't need the fire to see a bit in the dark, so I haven't brought any torch.
Right.
I will just walk ahead and see if there's anything.
Yeah, you can tell us when you see the door.
Okay.
Or any monsters, maybe. Well, is that safe?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I think the monsters will bother her because she's small.
Well, no, that could be bad.
Like few yards ahead, not scout ahead.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's better.
well, if that's your idea, why don't you just be like, I piggyback and I get you on my shoulder. That way.
Oh, I love this idea. Yes, Billy. Yes, Billy.
But
Absolutely.
you will have to walk first.
No.
Yeah, but that also means I'm gonna get hit punched. See?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you got time to jump away off me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can be the eyes and
If you
Billy can
want,
be the
I'm
muscle.
not against that too.
Yes.
I don't know that I love the assumption that there will be roughhousery here. Maybe we should all just stay positive and hope that these tunnels are empty and all the stories are made up and everything is safe.
Okay, that's
That's,
ideally.
yeah, that's a bit naive.
Mm.
I like the optimism. It's just not enough realism. But that's why, like I said, we all need to have a weapon. Like, you guys got a weapon, right?
I spring my claws. Yep.
I have a
Good job.
toothbrush.
What?
That's going to be important.
I'll trust
I
you,
mean,
Magic. If
Black is one
there's-
of the most dangerous threats down here.
Well, if you say so. I've never found it of use, so.
No. All right. So as you've sort of got your marching order figured out, as you, I assume, start to move into this tunnel, let me have everyone roll hearing.
Ooh, hearing. Hearing should be one of my better skills. Yes!
Yes.
Oi!
Way!
Nira, let's go. That dark vision.
All right.
That's hearing, though.
Oh, right,
So-
that dark hearing.
What do I type for that? Sorry.
You
so
just click on the roller next to hearing.
You open your character sheet and there are buttons.
Okay.
Yes, because I
It's, towards
decided
the
to
bottom.
put rollers on all of the skills.
17.
Nice.
Perfect.
So, what happens with that nat 1 I got?
That's a good question.
Oh, polarizing.
Okay. So let's start with.
I've got the
lowest-
perfect solution for that because Nira is on Billy's shoulders. Nira's got her knees in Billy's ears, so Billy can't hear.
Yeah, that was
we'll
more
see.
or less what I wanted to say.
We'll see. Actually, yeah, let's start with lowest first. So we'll start with Michael. So Billy, you're, trying to get Nira up on your shoulders and everything, and as a result, as you're listening, all you can hear is like I don't know if you've ever seen any of those the like ASMR videos where they like rub different things on the microphone. It's like that because you've got fur in your ears, and so you're just hearing of fur brushing up against your ears. So you're not able to hear anything. We'll come back to the fact that it's a natural one. Callan, you've got the next highest at a 6. I'm afraid you're a little preoccupied, so you're not paying attention, so you don't
I
hear
can't-
anything either.
Can't hear anything over my teeth chattering.
Yes.
And you're also behind Xavier.
The internal screaming is so loud that you can't hear. Let's see. Magic with a 17. You hear a faint sound of some squeaking coming from ahead. You can't quite make out what it is. But you're aware that there's some sort of squeaking noise happening up ahead in the tunnel. Xavier, same thing. Xavier with a 15, you hear some squeaking, but you can't quite make out what it is. You're not sure. Nira, from your perch up on Billy's shoulders, you hear with perfect clarity, there are bats up ahead, and they're moving in your direction. It appears that all the talking and everything has awoken them, and they are flying in your direction. You also know, because you heard it so well, you can even pinpoint the exact species of bat, which are known as the pink pant bat, or as some have come to call them, the Princess Pouty Pants bat. And you know that they're relatively harmless, but they do have a nasty habit of dive bombing into people's faces if they get into their territory, which is just, again, harmless but uncomfortable and annoying.
I yell, Watch out, bats are coming, and I dive down into the bag.
What are you doing in my shirt?
Into the backpack, I meant.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Roll nimble
Just
to see
placing
if you
some
can,
books.
you can hop in the backpack versus just falling off. An 18? Yeah, you do a good job. You're able to fall back into the backpack and you're perfectly fine. Everybody else except for Billy. Billy, you are too distracted by this Kataran, sort of hopping off your head into the backpack. You completely missed what she said about the bats. And that is the carryover from that nat 1. But everybody else, you hear Nira going, oh my gosh, there's bats. How do you react?
As I always do in times of crisis, I fall prone.
Xavier stands in front of what was your Conrad?
I just
ready to defend Conrad.
All right, perfect. And then Magic.
I do something similar. I hunch down and like wrap my knees, kind of like what they teach you to do on like an airplane for safety, and I have my toothbrush and I'm waving it around aimlessly like ah.
And Xavier has his books strapped together, ready to yeet one if he sees it.
Okay.
So,
All right.
to make sure what Billy doing is moving left to right while having the tent on their shoulder. So they're kind of like swinging back and forth.
Okay.
Now, I was asking you, is that what I understood is happening right now as Nira is climbing down into Billy's backpack?
That is perfectly fine to have you do. If that's how you would go, hey, what are you doing? Moving the tip back and forth. That's perfectly fine. So with that, there are several bats. So we're going to see who goes where. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters here to choose from. So bat number 1 is going to go after Gwen. So Gwen, let me have you roll. I'm going to say, since you're protecting, deflect or absorb.
That's a 15 for deflect.
Perfect. So a bat swoops right at your face, and you're able to swipe it away. No problem at all. And the bat looks really confused. It makes some chittering noises, flies into the wall, looks even more confused, and then flutters off into the distance.
Knowledge is power.
Bat number 2 is coming after poor Conrad. So let me have you give me a defense roll. You can do dodge or deflect, I'm going to say. Oh, hey, we got a big raid.
Georgie Bay!
Nice.
Hi, Georgie!
Thank you so much for that raid, Georgie. Thank you so much. How was your stream? Awesome, thank you. So with the 23, sorry, was that dodge or deflect?
That's dodge. Yeah.
Dodge, okay.
Sorry, deflect. Conrad just shrieks about monsters and stories and how he had so much to live for. And somewhere in his flailing around, bats it away.
I see what you did there. Perfect. And then you actually rolled way higher than you needed to succeed. But Xavier, since you're trying to to protect Conrad, we'll say you helped with that as well. You both swat the bat away. The bat flies into a wall, much like the other one, makes some chittering noises and flutters off into the distance. Next one. Hey, it's a Jamie. Arya is also coming towards Conrad.
So I roll again?
Yeah, roll again. Just don't roll a 1. I rolled really poorly for the bat.
16.
Same deal almost. The bat tries to swoop down at your face. You deflect it away, and it just slaps into the ground and seems to have knocked itself out.
Oh.
It's just unconscious on the ground. Let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3. There's 2 more. Econorlax, Nira has a bat swooping down, trying to get into your backpack. Do you swat it away, or just sort of block it with your arm?
I thought I'm in the backpack.
It's trying to get inside the backpack with you.
I'm swatting it away.
Okay, go ahead and roll deflect. Okay. You do so perfectly fine. The bat seems very confused. Seems to have thought that the backpack was like a nest. So it assumes that the nest is occupied and flies away. Last bat is coming for Xavier again. Very popular with the bats.
Yeah.
There's another one swooping at your face. What do? Do you swat it away,
Deflect.
dodge?
Yeah, swat it away.
So 13. This one is a little bit better of a dive bomber. It smacks you square in the face, and its wings wrap around your head. You now have this loud, chittering, pink-furred bat attached to your face. It's very uncomfortable, very unnerving. What do you and your friends do about this?
Xavier just starts shaking and swatting and actually hits himself in the face with books.
So as you do, you hear this very sad squeak, and it lets go and falls down to the ground next to his other unconscious bat friend. So you now have 2, what were they called? Princess Pouty Pants. Princess Pouty Pants bats, unconscious on the ground.
I thought...
No, don't worry. We're
Awful
fine.
creatures.
We're fine, Xavier says as he gets.
Billy, you should have seen there were hundreds of them, Billy.
I didn't see anything. I was trying to see, but Nira was going into my backpack all of a sudden. Nira, can you at least pull out one of the glowy sticks from my backpack?
I got to rematch in his backpack. Wow, it's already a good day.
You have glowy sticks in your backpack, and you didn't seem to mention that earlier.
Again, it's within the basics. Don't you always have that? Like, it should be on, like, if you're having a problem finding it near, it's on the little key ring thingy with some black flit stuffy that's on there too.
Billy is much more prepared than us.
I mean, I would have seen it just
Clearly.
Clearly.
So
I'm looking with my paws just by touch for the glow sticks. It's quite very definitive shape, so the touch should be enough. Is it?
Yeah. There's no problem. You find the glow sticks, no problem, and are able to hand them to Billy.
Here, Billy, have it. I give it over his arm.
Thank you.
Perfect.
And then Billy kind of like just shakes it a whole lot and it starts to glow. Okay, so this won't do a whole lot, but at least I can see in my face. So just kind of like wraps one around the keychain around Billy's ear, so that way at least doesn't have to hold on to it.
Perfect. And then let me have Xavier and Magic give me an education roll.
Xavier is learned, so I get to roll with advantage, or is it just if I don't like it? How are you rolling that?
If you don't like it, you can re-roll it for
Okay.
learned.
I'm going to try and roll higher.
Yeah.
There we
Hey,
go.
there we
That was worth the risk.
So, Magic, you're pretty sure there's something about those bats in your encyclopedia, but you don't remember right off the top of your head what it was. But Xavier, you recall that they're actually repelled by, humanoid-made light sources. So anything that's not a naturally occurring light source. So that glow stick should actually repel the rest of the bats.
Yes, Billy, that glow stick will make the bats not want to go near us.
Oh,
Ow.
goodness.
That's kind of good, but I kind of wanted to punch one. But oh well.
Well,
I think avoiding confrontation is the best idea.
Says you.
what do we do with these two though? If
We-
just leave them here.
They're still making very sad little injured squeak sounds.
Oh.
So is Xavier, for that matter.
Just goodness, what if the rest of the clan of these creatures knows that they go missing? What if they remember our faces, the rest of them that went by? I don't want to
They're
vendetta
so
with
hurt. They're so hurt. Look at them crying down there, man.
Oh,
They can't remember our faces. You ever heard the saying "blind as a bat"?
Well,
I think that's a falsehood, though.
Yeah,
I think
but
that's a myth.
wouldn't if we touch them, the parents are not going to want to touch them or interact with them?
yes, when they go back to the bat nest.
I'm not sure that that's how it works, but I'm also sure that I don't want to leave an injured animal.
Well, how do you know they're injured? How do you
I
not know
jumped-
that they're just scared?
I
jumped
injured
out.
them.
They sound pretty sad.
I'm going to kneel down by the one that I accidentally hit into the wall,
Okay.
and pull out some of my because Conrad being a worrywart brought like a lot of medical supplies. So can I like attempt to work out what's wrong with this creature, or attempt to like?
Absolutely.
All right.
You can roll, I believe it's naturalist, if I'm not confusing my systems.
For medicine.
There is a medicine
Uh,
check as well, but I don't know if that works for the
Medicine
improvised
is-
veterinary.
Medicine is more for humanoids. For animals, it's going to be naturalist to see
Sure.
what's wrong with it.
So Billy would be best for that.
It's perished. This one is in its death throes. I'm a murderer. I'm never going to be allowed back home.
Okay, calm down,
It's died. I've got its blood on my
Oh, man.
hands.
No, you don't have any blood on your hands.
You're right. It was self-defense. I'm fine. I think I'm morally clear.
I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in nature, so
I will. Hey, I am kind of from my experiences with my dad. So, what if I double check so you're not worried? Okay.
It's incredibly dead. I'm certain of it.
If it was
It's
dead,
atrocity.
it wouldn't be screaming.
I'm going
is still
to
making
poke
squeaky noises.
the other one with my paw.
It makes a sad squeaking noise and twitches a little bit, but otherwise it's still on the ground.
Ah! I drop prone again.
Billy,
So,
Billy goes
Billy, if you
over to
wanna
the
roll.
bat and then just kind of tries to do the squeaks, like squeak, squeak.
Okay,
Kronk.
roll naturalist.
Diplomacy?
Oh my god.
I love this.
19.
19.
The bat perks up a
There you
little
go.
bit and makes some squeak noises back at you that you understand as, ow, my head hurts.
William, what?
Squeak, 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 squeak. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong dialect. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what are you trying to convey to the bat?
Billy
Well-
does this a lot. Just don't worry.
Billy at first accidentally says in the wrong accent, hurting for you, and then realizes wrong accent and corrects it. Are you hurt? Can we help?
So, as many veterinarians know, the pouty Princess Pouty Pants bat doesn't have, exactly like an English type language. It's more idea centered. So it just sort of communicates the idea of head and pain and fix as a question.
Squeak a squeak squeak. I might have something. And then, okay, excuse me, Nira. I need to actually find the exact thing now. You don't mind moving out of the way?
I'm already on the ground
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
because I was pawing the other bat.
Oh, okay. Hey, sorry, I thought you were already in here. And then, pulls out a couple of things and then pulls out a little cotton swab pack of, I'm guessing a little box of, and
Okay.
a little bit of alcohol, puts the hydrogen peroxide on the little swab and then just slightly dabs on the bat's little head. Just squeaker, squeaker. Maybe this might help.
Okay.
Billy is precious. Must protect.
Must protect.
So yeah, it has sort of a cooling effect on their head, and it helps them feel better. And they seem grateful. And they're now friendly towards our little group here.
Wait, both of them are sort of conscious?
Well, I mean, the other one's still sort of half conscious on the ground, but the one that Billy treated
Wonderful, Billy. You have now gained us two
is friendly.
companions.
Billy,
Yeah?
did you just speak to a bat and then bring it back to life?
Yes.
No, I did not. I
What did
only
you
just
do?
slightly helped him.
It looks very much like you just did what I said you just did.
No, I only helped. Trust me, it's resilient bats. They can do this on their own. That's the problem with the Princess Pouty Pants. They always whine, complain. That's why, they got the pouty in the name.
Can you help this other one too?
Uh,
It's still going in.
First, let me ask this little one if it's safe. Squeaker, squeaker, friend or foe about the other bat?
So the bat makes a bunch of noises and chitters and clicks. It's a little hard to understand for you, but the basic concept of you get the sense of brother-in-law, don't really care. Sort of like we had to bring him along.
Understand. According to this bat here, says it's perfectly fine. It's just a worry word.
All right. So yeah.
I'm going to pick up the friendly one and put it on my shoulder.
Squeaker, squeaker, you okay with that? Billy says to the bat.
Let me have Xavier do a naturalist roll for this.
Awesome. 18.
It's a little apprehensive at first, but it allows it and gives you sort of the affirmative to your question, Billy. So yeah, you now have a Princess Pouty Pants bat on your shoulder, Xavier, and it seems content to
Yes!
stay there.
Well, our first sort of perilous encounter on this journey seems to have gone much better than anticipated. My conscience is clean. We now have a lifelong friend. Billy can talk to the creatures of this world and also has complete dominion over the forces of life and death.
No, I do not. Okay.
I think
How many
when-
times have we had to do this?
That last
Literally
part
never.
is
Yes, we have had this conversation at school. When you get hurt, you think you're dead, and I help you out, and you think you've risen from the dead. No, it's just
Right.
helping.
Yes.
I haven't read anything about that in my encyclopedia.
Well,
I
it went well.
mean-
One way or the other.
The other bat eventually kind of pushes itself off the ground and sort of like whatever the flying equivalent of limping is, kind of
Squeaker,
fluttered.
squeaker. Like, remember, fly on your less dominant wing.
Hold on. So the bat kind of turns its head to you, Billy, and in the process flies into another wall. It just sort
Which
of
I'm guessing makes the other bat very happy, because his brother-in-law won't bother him now.
No, they seem indifferent actually. But yeah, the other bat flies away eventually on its own. But Xavier, you do have the other one on your shoulder. It seems quite content to stay there. And as far as you know, the way ahead is clear. You don't hear any more bats.
I'm going to name you Stacy.
You named the bat after one of your moms?
No, the mom's sister.
Okay,
Oh, that's
just
right, your aunt.
just make sure Stacy doesn't know.
That's right. That's
I don't think Stacy's gonna mind.
I
That's
think
right, you're,
Stacy would mind, so let's not make sure that
Sarah would mind, but Stacy's not going to mind at all.
Sarah, that was the name of your other mom. Right,
Yeah.
okay. So, do you forge ahead?
Yeah, Billy is like just after this, like, it's what you deal with.
Okay. You're able to see decently enough with the glow stick. And Nira, you're not really having much of an issue. There's enough bioluminescent moss and mushrooms and things growing along the walls that it's plenty bright enough for the both of you. Xavier,
I think I will walk on my own because how Billy was throwing around after I impaired his ability to hear, so it was not good for both of us actually. So I use
I'm
my-
okay. Like, again, it's not like I could do anything much with the hearing. I'm not the smartest one of the group here.
yeah, but how you were turning around, it made me a little dizzy.
Fair enough.
all right. The rest of you, Conrad, Magic, and Xavier, that's a little dim because you're really only able to see pretty much the extent of Billy's glow stick. Conrad, do you try to do anything with your candles to make it not burn your hand by chance?
I think I'm going to hold my in our weapons check. The best thing that Conrad had was like a small like wrench or some tool from his tinkering. I think I'm gonna hold that in sort of his wobbly arms and stand as close to Billy as I can.
Perfect. If you want, we can say it's like a crescent wrench, so you're able to like clamp the wrench onto the candle.
Oh sure, yeah, but yeah, okay, with a candle at the end, that's excellent. So there's just this
Perfect.
flickering wavy light. Yeah.
Okay,
I love
perfect.
this because it's like the big bulky on one side, and then this very scared guy on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So
And then
it's enough.
Xavier on the other side.
Perfect. So you're able to see well enough that you can see both walls of the tunnel on the left and the right hand side, and you can see ahead at a decent distance, enough to tell, like, you know, if there was a sudden drop, you wouldn't fall into it, you know, nothing like that. You walk for probably, assuming you're doing a moderate pace, not too fast, not too slow. After about 10 minutes, Xavier, you probably feel a cool sort of temperature drop to your left, and a couple seconds later you're able to glance over, and from the light of the glow stick you can see that there's an opening to the left, another tunnel that heads off to the left, and then there's this tunnel that you're currently in that continues on ahead. Which direction do you go?
Xavier's going to check the map.
Okay.
Magic. We had some trouble making heads or tails of this thing earlier.
I
Yeah, I feel
didn't.
like- It feels like perhaps you and Xavier might be best suited to organize this. I end up getting worried and not being able to make a choice.
You sure? I don't know. I don't know if I can make that kind of decision on my own. There's, I don't.
I give you permission.
With Xavier.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I plan on making that decision regardless of what you say.
The honesty is
geez.
appreciated, Xavier, but I think we're
For real.
perhaps trying to work together on this one some. I understand that your conquest over this beast of the earth may have renewed you with confidence.
My teacher always told me, whenever you're in doubt, go right.
Are you sure it was not right as in you write it down?
Or go right as in sort of go correct?
Within the box of being right.
Yes.
Okay. So let me have Xavier and Magic. You can both look at the map. You can do an education or naturalist. And we'll see how well you do with the map.
Oh, that's
I will
nice.
do education.
Because I get to do it twice.
You
I'm
lucked out
glad
with,
I had to learn it.
Yep.
19.
Yes, it is actually a thing for solving mazes. That is absolutely true, Alex. So 19 and a 17, between the two of you, you look at the map and you realize that the tunnel that goes off to the left is not on the map. You're able to figure out where you're at, where you should be. And yeah, this opening to the left is not recorded on the map. So it's certainly not where you're trying to go, but you also don't know what it is.
Xavier's going to draw it on the map with a question mark at the very end to fill in later.
Okay. That's smart.
Anira?
And Xavier's going to say, yes, we keep going forward so we get to the equipment room, and then we can circle back to this tunnel so I can fill out the rest. It's not on the map.
Sorry. It's a new tunnel, Xavier?
It's not on
new
the
one.
map.
Well, the person who drew the map came through here, and they would have seen
Yeah.
it as we have. So it's a new one.
Oh, geez, I don't like anything new.
No,
Anira?
We need to get to the equipment room, and then we can worry about circling back. 'Cause I really do want to see what's at the end of this.
You underestimate my capacity to worry, Xavier. How old is this map supposed to be?
30 years old.
Oh, jeez.
That's
Nira?
not particularly long for a natural tunnel to appear.
Yes.
I'm thinking like you and me are the only ones that are prepared for this. Like, you think they're gonna do the whole, well, let's try to get as much information route, or focus on get the more things route?
Well, it's kind of surprise for this tunnel to even be here, because I thought we were going to the engineer room and decide what would we do next.
Exactly. You need to go there first.
So we can get back here. The fact we are going to engineer room doesn't block us from going back and checking it.
You said what I just said in different words.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, but it's more of like, I can understand. It's kind of why I asked Nira.
Which is why I said thank you.
You're welcome.
No problem.
The tunnel, is it I can't quite see how circular is it? Does it look naturally occurring? Does it look...
Billy will go right to the side of it and just kind of like slap it.
Billy!
It's about this long. You can fit this many people in here.
Just
if
like
you
the
would
slaps echoing.
If you would like to inspect it, anyone is able to walk up to it and roll sight if you just want to visually inspect it. If you're trying to figure out if it's naturally occurring, you can roll naturalist.
I
I
will
believe
roll
Billy would
sight.
be the expert on this.
Can I stay like a safe distance back if Billy's up there with the glow stick?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna just roll sight just in case. Nope.
Okay. So that's a 7 for Xavier for sight and a 20 from Conrad for
Also sight.
Sight. Okay. So yeah, Xavier.
And Billy got a 17 for naturalist.
Oh, thank you. I missed that one. Okay,
That's
we'll start
for
with
slapping
Xavier.
the wall.
Gotcha. I love it. Xavier, we'll start with you with a 7. You made the mistake of looking directly at the glow stick, and it messed up your night vision. You're not able to make it out. 17 on the naturalist. This doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like the people from your city dug this out. It doesn't match the same sound or, the sort of marks on the walls of the tunnel don't match the equipment that the people in the city use. But nothing that you can think of off the top of your head, as far as creatures go or anything like that, would be able to make this either. And then with a 20 for Conrad, you can see that the walls of the tunnel are perfectly smooth. There's no scratches or loose rocks or anything like that. It's almost like if you think like a granite countertop, but instead of it being glossy, it's matte finish, and obviously in the shape of a tunnel. It's kind of what it looks like.
I'm a bit suspicious of this hole here. I think we should at least have a plan in case we get stopped and cannot come back this way.
Friends?
I
don't mean to alarm you, but this tunnel that we're looking down now, I can say with 100% certainty was dug out by a giant beast from our nightmares.
No, it is not. Okay,
Now I'm curious.
okay. Here's the thing. Here's what I can tell you. It's not naturally made. It wasn't used from the tools of the people we know. Oh,
Yes, it was a nightmare creature. I've said this.
No! Okay, Billy, how many times have we gone over this where you're thinking about the worst possible thing and not prepared for the simple reality?
Well, okay, yes, I don't know how Occam's razor applies to a perfectly smooth, endless, pitch black tunnel. I think the most simple answer is what I'm saying.
I can actually tell you the simplest answer, that it was used by one of the people from the surface. They dug this hole. See, that's the simplest thing. It's why it wouldn't be on the map, and it also might mean like that's their escape route. So they
From what?
Exactly. Isn't that so exciting?
I think the word you're looking for there is scary.
Yeah, there's plenty of words. Terrifying, mortifying.
Bone chilling.
Does Stacy know anything about this? This is her home.
Okay, I'll try and ask her. Squeaker, squeaker, squeaker shin. Oh, wait, sorry. Squeak, squeak. Sorry. I'm mispronouncing there. And what Billy says is like, is there anything down that dank hole? And then realize mispronunciation down by that non-natural hole.
Well, let's see what Stacy knows about this.
The bat's rolling an education check.
I am rolling an education check for the bat.
Yes.
With advantage because it's a bat.
Obviously, because it's learned.
Yeah, in the ways of caves. So, Stacy turns her little bat head towards you and goes. Which of course means, that's like the bad neighborhood. We kind of stay away from that one. It gives me the creeps.
Yeah, and like that little bit where like goes, like, really? The creepy part?
The creepy part.
The creepy part.
The part that
The creepy part?
the flying tiny creature that lives in pitch black caves is scared of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Conrad is sensible.
Well, I propose we call a vote to go home right now and apologize to our parents.
Why?
No. We avoid that tunnel like the devil, or like.
Who's the devil?
That's gonna be here a while.
Yeah,
That's a big question, Billy.
we avoid that tunnel like it's pure evil, and we go to the equipment shed.
Well, I half agree with you on let's go to the equipment shed.
I say we never go down that tunnel ever. We avoid it.
Why? Like, that seems like an interesting, like, that's scavenged down there where no creature or person's gone before.
Clearly, a creature or person has gone there before.
Yes, no, clearly, maybe perhaps one ever. Nira Magic, please talk some sense into my compatriot.
I still feel terribly bad about lying to my parents, so yeah, I think that's a good idea to go and admit defeat.
No!
That's
okay.
the brave choice to run.
I go, and I want to check what my gut tells me about this tunnel.
Okay.
Gut feeling. Nothing much. Should have eaten the butt.
Yeah, you don't have a strong feeling about it one way or the other. You get the sense that it's probably best not to go down there, because I mean.
But I'm curious.
It's
So I'm
probably
kind of
something.
the fence.
I'm
probably
curious
something
too,
really
but I don't want to
interesting.
die.
But
Well,
the fact that the bat is a little wary of it gives you a sense of, maybe I should be a little bit cautious. It's not an outright I shouldn't go down there, but you're not ruling it out altogether either. But the equipment room is not that far away.
okay, well, here's what I'll do. So that everyone is happy, I will get the holy spray out and do a triangle on there, and we go the other way. That sound happy for everyone?
The holy spray.
Yeah. And then, like, pulls out of the backpack one of the luminescent, like it's like a glow-in-the-dark spray paint.
That's
Okay.
cool.
And then,
Perfect.
yeah, and then just sprays a triangle. There. It is marked with the holy spray in a holy place where none should enter.
Remind me again the religious significance of this glowing sort of act of vandalism, Billy.
How'd you
Well,
learn
you
that?
have the
It's
yellow.
not vandalism if no one owns it.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
just
and the thing is we're not
These bats
vandalizing.
own it.
We're informing.
Yeah. See, I agree with Billy.
Can bats use echolocation to find spray paint?
No.
I don't know. They already know it's there. They know it's creepy.
Yeah.
fair.
It's to inform other people.
Yeah.
Well, we're either going forward or we're going back. I don't want to stay in front of this tunnel.
Let's just go
Yes.
forward. Let's get
Let's
to
go
the
to the
shack.
equipment room. Yeah, I'm curious what's there
Yes.
too.
Oh, jeez.
I am insanely curious what's down that tunnel, but I also don't want to die. So
We're not
Okay.
gonna die.
I turn to Magic and I look back down the tunnel back home. I'm not sure that you and I could brave it alone.
I hold your hand.
Yes.
Oh, please, thank you.
Okay.
Let's go to
That's
the
so
equipment
wholesome.
room. Maybe we'll find something interesting there too.
Yeah. Besides
Wrench in one hand.
weapons.
Okay,
Encyclopedia in mine.
let's just go quick.
Okay.
I second this.
Okay, let's go.
So you all start moving back down the tunnel, leaving the creepy smooth tunnel behind you. Clearly marked with the reflective glow-in-the-dark paint, so that it's there if you come back that way. The rest of your walk is pretty uneventful. Walk for probably another 10 minutes or so, maybe 15, given that you're all probably a little extra cautious, especially Conrad and Magic, given what you just saw. As you come up on the equipment room, you notice a bunch of cobwebs sort of hanging across the tunnel. Billy, you're not alarmed at all by this. You know this is pretty normal, but Conrad, Magic, maybe Xavier, that might seem a little creepy to you. Nira, you're probably somewhat used to seeing cobwebs like that in abandoned places.
I'm under them. They are high below. There's no interaction.
Yeah.
Squeaker, squeaker. To avoid the cobwebs, to the bat.
Okay. The bat's still hanging out on Xavier's shoulder and seems very content.
Yeah,
but
Xavier's
the bat
not
does,
creeped out by cobwebs.
the bat does squeak back at you. And of course that means, oh yeah, I know all about the cobwebs. What do you take me for? I'm a flying bat.
I didn't know you knew. I don't know everything.
But as the light from your glow stick and your candle, your wrench candle, illuminates the room, you see what looks like a dark, imposing figure as you come around the corner, and just as you do, you hear a really spooky noise coming from behind you. And that is a great spot for us to take a quick break. Feel free to stretch your legs, go to the bathroom if you need to, grab a drink, whatever you need. Brush your teeth,
I did not need to go to the bathroom. No, I didn't.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Give everybody a chance to get up for a little bit, and then we'll find out what happens. Be right back. And we're back. As we were saying, you go around a corner, and the light illuminates what looks like a dark, imposing figure, and behind you, you hear a low...
So there's a dark,
moaning
imposing
noise.
figure in front of us, and the noise is coming from behind us.
Hmm.
So they're
Indeed.
being attacked on two fronts. Yeah. I'm scared.
I'm hiding
Okay.
behind Billy automatically.
Yes, I am too.
Michael.
Billy will cast punch and punch the imposing figure.
Okay.
And I'm
Go ahead and
guessing.
do a melee attack.
Okay, and just double checking. The fact that kind of like that's my lucha move as well. Would that affect it any, or is it just still just a regular melee?
It's physical plus training.
Yeah, it's just your whatever melee attack that you would normally do.
So it's not a button to hit. Okay.
No.
So I thought it was
no,
my.
you'll have to. No, that would be if it's just a skill check. But with this being an attack, it'll be D20 plus physical plus training in melee attacks. Whichever
So that would
training
be-
you put it in.
3 plus 2 is 5.
All right, 19. And quick question before I tell you the result of that. Does anybody else take a moment to look closer, to turn around, or are you all just kind of cowering while Billy punches this thing?
I assume the fetal position.
Okay.
I am hyper vigilant but cowering. So I'm going to roll sight, I guess.
Okay,
Right?
perfect. Yes, that would be perfect. And then Magic, are you taking a closer look, cowering, trying to fight as well, or?
Because I was close to that moaning behind, so I turn around. I just want to see if there's anything like behind us.
Okay, give me a sight
I
roll
am-
for Magic.
I am done with roll 20 for today.
It
It's the
does not like you
second
today.
7 in a row for sight.
Okay.
Nice.
So we've got a 19 for sight behind you, 19 to attack the figure. Nira, what are you doing?
I assume the turn is lost because of the scary cat. That's not a feat, that's a flaw.
Oh, the flaw? Okay, yeah, you're probably a little too shaken up to react immediately.
A literal
So-
scaredy cat.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So here's what happens. Michael, you punch this imposing figure, which seems to make absolutely no move to avoid the punch. You all hear a loud clattering as something, whatever Billy just punched, falls over, and it looks like their helmet falls off. It looks like a miner's helmet with a light on it that's just turned off. There's a loud slump of a coat hitting the floor. So that happens. As that's happening, Magic, you turn around and you kind of squint into the tunnel behind you, and it's dark behind you because all the light is currently in the room. But you could swear you saw the shadow of a roughly humanoid-shaped figure recede into back into the tunnel a little bit.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, good news. We got some loot here.
Good news. Hang on. Have you won? Are we victorious?
Yeah,
Unpausing.
I punched some clothes.
It was an equipment stand, basically like a coat rack, but for an individual person.
So, who needs some light right now?
I need light.
Everyone. Magic. What was that behind us?
Yeah.
I
I'm-
just turned around. It was like another person, but they just kind of disappeared back into the shadow.
1, 2,
Oh,
3, 4,
Then,
5.
oh, you'll need the light to look that way. Here,
What? So I assume it was a murderer or something, some dark figure intent on killing us all.
I think so.
Yes.
I'm looking into that tunnel.
I'd say that Conrad has probably the right idea.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So Billy,
Yeah.
I assume you've grabbed that mining helmet.
Yeah, and I give it to Magic.
All
Okay,
right.
Magic, you now have a, it's basically a hard hat, but you can strap it underneath your chin so it doesn't fall off, and it's got a little flashlight on the front, which seems to have a completely full charge. Should last a good long time.
All right.
And then
I put it on and I snap it together, and I do like a little stylistic pose with my new fashionista helmet here.
It's a really good look.
Yeah. Do you like one of those
Perfect.
jump freeze frames for a second?
All right. Nira, let me have
let's
you
see.
roll sight to look down the tunnel. Michael?
Okay, again.
Billy is just going through the things that punch. Like, okay, who needs a coat? Who wants that?
Okay.
I don't think I need a coat.
It's an adult-sized, like, thick canvas coat. It's basically like cloth armor, the equivalent of
GM.
that. Yes.
Have the tunnel that we came from, was it on an incline or was it flat or?
You've been steadily walking up. It's,
okay.
It's not very steep at all, but it's been a steady incline.
Billy, how many of those glowing sticks do we have, and can we afford to lose one?
I only got the one. Like, it's roughly you shake it to recharge it. So that's why, like, I only had one.
Could you spare an application of your holy light juice?
Oh yes, you want the holy spray? Where would you like it on?
Just something. This. I find like a round stone.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
plenty.
does the holy symbol of the yellow triangle.
Okay. Sorry. Quick interruption. With an 8 on Nira, you didn't see anything.
Yeah, I did that.
I forgot to specify that. So you paint the rock.
It was obvious.
I figured, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it.
Sorry if this is in some way sacrilegious, Billy. And
No. Like, the thing is that the symbol is a holy warning.
Well, good. I throw it down the tunnel
Okay.
as hard as I can.
Okay, while you deal with that, I'm going to try seeing if it'll fit on me since no one wants this.
Is there any other light source that we can find?
Let's pause for a second. We'll catch up to that. So first, Conrad, give me a might roll.
Excellent. Can you? Oh, sorry, sorry. Here we go.
Wait, perfect.
Hey.
You chuck it on down the tunnel, and it's glowing enough that you can faintly see the sides of the tunnel. And just at the very, very edge of your view, it looks like maybe a robe or a duster or a cloak, something like that. Just the edge of it flutters as the light passes, and it recedes into the shadow, a good ways away from you.
Is somebody there?
Yes. I think the murderer is still down the tunnel. Still a ways away, so we'll have time to say our last words. I suppose I can go first.
Oh, you worry.
No. Billy will kill the murderer.
Billy, could you check the tunnel, please?
What?
Billy?
We got some great loot here. Like, I think we should be focusing on this room here, see what we got.
But I think
here
somebody's
first.
there.
Billy, we can't take it with us when we die.
Exactly.
Yes, but we can use it to attack whatever might be coming.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
No,
Billy?
let's check it first.
Billy, the coat fits. It's a little big on you, but it fits.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it fits right over the backpack is why. Like,
Oh, if you're doing it over the backpack, then it fits perfectly. It's not baggy at all. It will give you a +1 to absorb defense.
Ooh.
The imagery is excellent there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now he's
I
very
love it.
big.
Going to Xavier to answer your question. If you want to investigate the room, you can roll search to look for what other loot's here. Or if you're more interested in what everyone's seeing behind you, you can look down that way. But it's sort of an either or.
Yeah, search.
Okay.
But Xavier's search is not great.
So it's
What
just
is
going to be
search?
sight.
Sight. Okay, that is decent actually. That's ooh, that's a 15 total.
Okay, 15 total. You notice.
It's better than a 7.
It's too high. Yeah, we'll go with that. You notice 4 lockers in this room. You manage to search one, and you find a handful of chem lights, so basically like modern day glow sticks. And there are 6 of them. So they're single-use plastic chemical light sources. You know, just like you crack it and shake it and then toss it, or hold it, either way. So you find that. You find about 40 feet of rope, some, what are they called? Pittons, I think?
Yes.
Pythons.
Yeah. And so just like a ring with some of those on it with little ties and a few
So a climber's
carabiners.
kit.
Yeah, Billy is eyeing that very like, yes.
Yeah, you find that there's no harness to it. So it's missing the harness, but you do have the rope and the carabiners and the little spikes that you drive in. And aside from that, I think that's going to be it for that particular locker.
How big is the locker?
About like a high school locker.
Xavier?
Oh, okay. So I know that I can
Yeah.
fit in those. So I leap into it and close the door. And I say through the gaps, I'll trust you all to please hold your silence as you're being murdered. There's a chance I survive. Some of you can fit in the other ones. Best of luck, chums. It's
Yes,
been a ride.
Go in!
That is a very good
Go
idea,
in.
Callan.
Give me the stuff first. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you're gonna get
I'm-
exposed here.
I'm
So the
giving-
door opens and I throw things out and then close it.
Billy is collecting all the things and stuffs them in the backpack.
Xavier got all the glow sticks in his backpack, but
Okay.
yeah, the rest of the stuff will go to
What?
Billy.
While you three are doing this,
Mira is torn whether to succumb into looting spirit or actually check that tunnel for danger.
okay. And then
I'm still
Magic,
looking into it.
have you?
I'm
Are you looking at the equipment lockers, or are you still trained on that tunnel? Have you turned on your mining hat?
Yeah, so with my I'm still in the tunnel, and with my newly found confidence, now that I have a good fashion accessory, I turn on the light, and can I just run straight down the tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy will then grab one of the lockers and then follow after.
Magic, no, Magic,
Yes.
please do not run down the tunnel. We don't want you being murdered.
I'm just so giddy. I feel like I look so cute with this helmet.
I agree, but
I have a lot of energy, and I wanted.
Okay.
Billy's
Real
running
quick.
after.
To figure out how this all goes down.
Sure.
No, mostly
Matt-
like he has just picked up one of the lockers, like a baseball bat, and thinking if Magic gets in problems,
Wait,
he'll
you
whack
can
with
pick
it.
up a lock.
Hold on. Magic first. Roll nimbleness to see how
Yeah.
fast you run off. And
Okay.
Billy, roll might to see if you could actually lift this locker. It's not a chintzy one. So
Oh, snap.
Well, shit.
It has to be the one I'm in, right?
No.
let's find
No,
out.
it's the one next to. Let's be honest. Billy wouldn't hurt Conrad. Make sure Conrad's safe.
Okay. All right. For first things first, Magic, you get probably 5 yards down the tunnel, if you've got the light on, then the edge of your light is right about where the stone landed. So that's where you are. Billy, you grab the other locker. It's really heavy, but you're able to lift it, and you hear things rattling around in the locker as you turn around.
Yeah, Billy's mostly worried about magic, so that's why he's just running after with the locker and figured, okay, it's heavy. It'll do some damage to whack someone with.
I
Okay.
want to search the other lockers.
There's
Sorry.
there's 2 more lockers. Go ahead and roll sight. Nira, though, while Xavier's searching another locker, are you looting? Are you following after Magic and Billy?
Yes, I think we can always loot after we remove any possible check for any possible danger. So I'm not following magic, but I'm looking into the tunnel to see, to actually waiting for them to see something, to light something.
Okay. So you're sort of just looking out, making sure nothing's gonna sneak up on you all, and kind of keeping an eye on Billy and Magic. Gotcha. All right. Well, in that case, Xavier with a 21, looking in the other locker, you find let's see how many. 3. You find 3 tins of sardines.
Oh, yes.
That amazingly are not expired. You find
Ooh.
a small box of matches. Billy.
Goes to the backpack.
Let's see what else is in there. You also find just like a regular flashlight that is also fully charged.
Oh, yes. Flashlight goes in the utility belt.
And that's
then,
all that's in that one. So we're gonna pause there.
Xavier goes into the locker and shuts it.
Okay, we'll pause there. So we got Conrad in one locker, Xavier in another locker. There's one locker that hasn't been searched, and Billy is lugging around the 4th one. Magic, as you come up to where the glowy rock was, what do you do?
Well, first of all, I'm fascinated by how like shiny and glowy it is, so I'm like, ooh, with big anime big eyes, and then can I look at it more to try to figure out what it is?
Well, I mean, the glowy rock is just, you saw it being spray painted and chucked, so you know what it is, and it's pretty much just a rock with glowy paint on it.
Right.
Right at the edge of where the rock landed, the edge of its light is where we last saw this figure,
Yes.
or this
So
like
if you're-
robe or cloak or something.
So if you're at the
Okay.
rock
Okay.
and you look around, you're pretty much right where you last saw the little
Right.
corner of a cloak or a coat or whatever it was.
Okay. Yeah, my newly found confidence shot right back down once I kind of realized where I was standing, and then now I'm really scared again to see if there's something right in front of me, or to see if anybody's still there. So can I like look further down again?
Perfect. Absolutely. Go ahead and roll sight.
Ooh.
So 12. You look around, and even with your fancy new miner helmet light, you don't see anything else. Whatever it was, it seems to not be there anymore.
So is it that this moment Billy shows up?
Yeah, right about then. As soon as you're it's sinking in that whatever it was is not there anymore, Billy comes up right behind you holding a locker. And I'm assuming still the tent?
Yeah, it's in the backpack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, basically a backpack and a tent in the backpack on their back with a big canvas coat over the top of that while holding a full-sized locker. And they come up
Yeah.
behind you.
Come behind me?
Yes.
Yeah. What's in that locker? Is it something important? And
I
first of
don't
all,
know!
should you open it?
Maybe when we get back there with the group instead of you running off?
I don't know. I'm kind of more concerned with this locker and the fact that you can pick this up amongst many other things.
I was scared and thought you're going to die. You don't
No.
separate from the group. That's why you have the buddy
Clearly-
system.
Clearly, you've never got a new clothing accessory before. Otherwise, you would understand my motives here, okay?
I know. I understand the motives. You didn't want to wait until someone could follow with you so you don't die. That's what the buddy system's for.
But there's
Okay.
nothing there. I scream towards them.
We don't know that yet.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
Okay. How about you come back with us? I'll set down the locker. We'll find out what's inside after we've figured out everything safe in that room, and then we come back as a group.
So we'll drop the locker here. We'll leave it here. We'll go back, and then
Nah. Yeah, I'll just carry it with me back there.
okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Better with the group, okay? Always with the group.
Hey, come on back.
All right.
All right. As you reach the room and kind of get the party all back together again, Billy, it starts to dawn on you that your adrenaline has started to wear off a little bit. This locker is really heavy.
And I'm
You're
guessing
starting to
Billy
feel it.
just falls backwards with it.
Perfect. There's a loud crash. The door opens and several things fall out of the locker. One of them is another mining helmet, a pack of batteries that fit the helmets and the handheld flashlight, and what else? Probably some more glow sticks. We'll say
May I
there
make a
are-
suggestion?
Sure.
Because this is a mining place, would there possibly be a climbing axe or
Pickaxe.
There's not in this locker, but there are 10 chem lights.
Sweet.
You do still have one more locker to check, though.
okay.
I cast one last look into the tunnel, checking also the tunnel ceiling.
Okay. Go ahead and roll sight again. 17. You feel like you get a really good look at everything. You're pretty sure you haven't missed anything, and you don't see any sign of that figure or cloak
Okay,
or
I'm done.
ghost or whatever it is.
Billy will hand out the batteries to everyone that's out here and then go, well, aren't we missing someone?
The little door peeks open. Maybe like right as Nira is coming up to one of the lockers to open it.
Yeah, and Xavier does the same thing.
Okay, Billy will try to push some batteries through the slot.
All I heard was I closed the locker door, and then I heard magic screaming. I heard a great rumbling. One of the lockers fell away and then clattered down the hallway, and then there was silence for about 5 minutes. I thought everyone was dead.
Yeah, I was pretty sure everyone was dead too.
Hi,
See, this
Nira.
is why we have the buddy system, so no one dies.
Yeah, what Xavier and I were buddies together in the lockers.
Exactly. Locker
Okay,
buddies.
okay.
High five.
Locker buddies.
Yeah, but
Years of practice.
but
Oh,
Billy is right. We should be checking things more thoroughly, and by things I don't mean loot. The moving things.
the moving things.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Did you
we
find the
have-
miscreant?
A sufficient. Oh yes. Did you find the murderer?
Nah,
There
nothing
was
there.
no murderer.
I'm fairly certain there was a masked murderer. Maybe there was a sickle or a scythe. I could have imagined that.
Wait, where's the site? Where's the site?
In the
Sounds like a
murderer's
murder
hands.
weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A
Ooh.
specter of death, somewhat literally.
Oh,
That's what it looked like to me.
dang it!
But
Why
tunnel
are
was
you gonna
clear?
try me? I thought you found a site. Come on.
no.
You know how
No.
rare that is to find a site in good
I
condition?
think we have the sufficient amount of glow sticks to go down that evil tunnel though. If
Fine.
you
You do that. I'm gonna go after this locker then.
Okay.
Let's run inventory. Somebody. I suppose I will keep watch.
Oh yeah, Billy.
Perfect.
I have some tin cans that you would be interested in.
Did I manage to already pocket one?
They were in my backpack in the locker.
So if you would like to try and steal one, Nira,
Yeah, that was exactly what I meant.
let me have you roll nimbleness to see how deft your fingers are.
14.
14. Xavier, give me a sight roll.
A sight roll. If it's sight roll, I'm rolling a physical die. That is a 19 plus 4 is 23.
In that case, Nira, let me have you give me a blend in roll as well.
That one's going to go well. Oh, maybe not.
21. Nice. So, so here's what happens. Xavier, you noticed Nira kind of poking at your bag or wherever you stored the tins.
In the backpack.
In the backpack. However, when you question Nira about it, it doesn't seem very suspicious. Nira just seems curious. And you think nothing of it.
And then Xavier just hands the 2 remaining tins. Like, I could have sworn there were 3 here before, but here. Hands it to Billy.
Like Billy just opens it up, eats it, whatever's inside.
It's sardines. You
Billy
can see on
don't
this
care.
tin.
Okay. So
Okay.
you ended up with 2. Nira ended up with 1.
I keep
who's-
it for darker times.
Do I have to roll a gut feeling over eating those sardines?
No, the cans were not expired, so they're perfectly.
Yeah, someone's been here recently. That's what that tells me.
Yeah, the batteries are all charged.
Is this the equipment room? Was this place on our map?
Yes,
Yes.
this is the equipment room on the map.
Goodness.
We
Um,
have. I have a flashlight, which I'm keeping for me. I'm letting you all know that, so you don't think I'm hiding anything. But this is mine.
You got the batteries, right? Like everyone should have gotten some batteries, right?
Yeah, I got the batteries, and I have 6 glow sticks here. Anyone that wants, I was planning on just chucking at least 1 or 2 down the tunnel.
Well, I'll take one just in case.
I suppose I will also have one if there's one to spare.
Yeah.
Billy, you do have 10 of those as well from that locker that you got.
Well, Billy forgot about that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Who's checking out the
perfect.
4th locker?
Billy was about to
I will.
before interrupted by the tents.
Okay. We'll give Nira first crack at it.
How many batteries do I get?
What do I roll?
Just like 2 sight for checking out the locker.
No, 9.
9. So you open the door and kind of feel around in the locker, and nothing in there seems to interest you. So you kind of just give it a cursory glance and move away. Billy,
Nothing shiny. I will go.
Billy, if you want to take a peek in there, you can. Okay, give me a sight roll there as well. 12. You don't notice anything shiny as well, but there are some objects in there if you wanted to try to pull them out and take a closer look.
Yes.
So you assuming you pull everything out, you actually do find, let's see how many of them you find. Nope, that's not enough. That's better. You find 6 individual climbing axes.
Billy is coveting one and just yes.
Oh
So-
goodness,
so
he's
3
got a
3
Like I
pairs.
said, nothing interesting.
a weapon.
He's the murderer.
He's amongst us.
So yeah, they're
it's
basically
it's better him
pickaxes.
than it's someone we don't know.
I'm gonna get a. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna keep 2. That way you all get 1. Okay.
What am I supposed to do with this bludgeon?
It's not bludgeon. It's sharp.
It's have any of you seen or played the newer Tomb Raider games?
All right.
They're like the things that Lara Croft has. So they're basically like little pickaxes for
So
climbing.
you say two-handed axe? Okay.
No, it's one-handed.
For a tiny cat?
Big-handed, two-handed war axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Oh.
for
Siege
your
weaponry.
size, it would be pretty
Now, Colin, like, I know you don't approve of these kinds of weapons, but think of it as more of like you have a highly valued item you can trade for stuff you want now.
To the murderer
Yeah.
for my life.
Oh yeah, that's one way. Or else
Yes,
think of
perhaps I can
gold.
put my bartering skills to the test.
You're really good at it.
I want to know the stats of this axe so I can put it in my attacks.
Exactly.
If you try to attack with it, it does 1d8 physical.
1d8 plus physical. Oh yeah, of course.
I think I will put it with the stipulation that it does take like an extra move action to retrieve it once you hit somebody with it, because they're kind of designed to stick into things and stay there. So if you do hit like a humanoid with it, you need another move action to kind of yank it out.
It's lovely. It's lovely because of the way I've built this character. I have a +0 to attack.
Excellent.
Perfect.
So how much does it weigh?
1d8.
Yeah, attribute plus
1d8.
training to hit.
How much does it weigh?
Probably like I don't know, 1 or 2 pounds maybe.
Okay.
They're
So
fairly
it's
light.
not that big. Okay.
They're we'll say they're made out of titanium, so lightweight metal and strong.
Okay, so I will actually take one. Stop joking about it and take one.
All right. So that's pretty much everything there is to find in the room. As you are looking around, you do notice there is a door, which seems to go into a different tunnel. You don't even have to like examine your map. You remember it. That's sort of the next passage goes through that door. The door does appear to have a lock on it, though.
Yes, but we have axes, so we can get rid of the lock pretty easily.
You
I
do
foresee a
have
problem.
Climbing picks.
So okay, all right. Let's just to recap for all within earshot, including perhaps the murderer still. Our initial plan was to, on a cursory voyage, make our way here to this equipment room to reassess the situation and decide if it was too dangerous and go home. So, quick vote of confidence. I am reassessing the situation. It's entirely too dangerous. We should go home.
How
The big
is it
problem.
dangerous?
The big problem, dear William, is that the tunnel which leads to home has a murderer in it.
Well, you said
Yeah,
I
but-
was the murderer, so you're safe.
No, I think that was a bit of gallows humor.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was a very good
Yeah,
joke.
so far you've sort of hidden from some bats and punched a statue. Like, I think you're fine. Your conscience is certainly clear. I hate to say this, and I hate even more to think it, but I think the safest place is onwards.
I would
Yeah.
think. Here's the thing: safety. That's a locked room. There's a lock on it. We get through the lock, we're gonna be safe because we can lock
Nira.
it behind us.
Yes.
I hope there is no offense in this assessment of your character, but I assume that you have picked locks before, Nira?
The scribe pick.
No, really. I've seen how you pick locks. There's no lock or hinge left.
Okay. Yes, there were some locked things I was interested in, and they happened not to be locked anymore. Yes.
If there's any help I could provide to you in opening this portal, I would be greatly appreciative. Listen, Billy, I understand that you could open it with almost certainty, but there wouldn't be a lock left to protect us.
Yeah. Conrad has
This
a point
requires
here.
a delicate touch.
Okay, so yes, actually, I like the idea of closed doors becoming open now that they have said it. So my interest is shifted to this locked door now.
Okay. So, trying to think. You probably have some things that you could potentially sort of use as a makeshift lockpick.
I could try and make something. Is that within the purview of mechanical
Billy can
engineering?
make something.
Sure.
Xavier says.
Ooh, I get it. I'm probably got some metal pins in that I got from the guy, like in the things. Let me think.
Yeah.
Good job.
Let me
Yeah,
have.
just piece of wire. Any piece of
Let me
wire
have
would do.
Billy and Conrad both roll mechanical engineering to see if between Billy's materials and your expertise, you're able to craft something.
Plus a lot. So thankfully my low roll turns to a 15.
Oh, nice. And a nat 20.
Hey!
Nice.
Billy.
So, Billy, you find exactly the materials that you need in your bag of scavenged stuff, and because it is exactly the parts you need, Conrad, you are able to make an excellent set of lockpicks, and hand it over to Nira. So, Nira, you now have a perfectly crafted set of lockpicks, which will give you, let's say, a +2 to nimbleness to pick locks. If you want to put that in your notes on your character sheet.
It's not nimbleness, not engineering.
You could do mechanical engineering instead if you'd like. I could see the argument for that.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. Oh, should I attempt it?
Yes, it's only our lives on the line, but there's no rush.
Oh, okay.
And our lives aren't worth much, so you got some long time.
Well,
Speak for yourself.
he often does.
Our parents can just make more about our humans, so I don't think we got a whole lot.
I like the idea that we will be safe behind the doors.
What do
Yes.
you mean make more? I never learned what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Magic, it's fine.
Don't know. You're
It's fine.
not old enough to know.
I mean, I'm 17.
If you don't know, you're not old enough to know.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
He's just
Then?
huge.
Okay.
Listen, I had Billy give me the talk. I think you'd rather wait for someone else to have a crack at it.
What talk are you talking
I
about?
It's
Yeah.
fine. The door, please.
In the meantime, I put my ears to the door. Hearing test first.
You hear a faint trickle of water on the other side. Not like it's right up against the door, but you can just barely make out there's some dripping or trickling water on the other side of this door somewhere. But that's about all you hear.
Okay, so now attempt to lockpick.
Okay.
By the ways of engineering. 23.
Hey.
Excellent. With the lock picks, it gets you a 25.
No, that was with the +2.
Oh, with the +2.
Mhm.
Would you like to add that D6 that you have?
If you say I should, I will.
please.
You
Please do
were
it.
literally
When-
2 points
when-
away from
Yeah.
unlocking it.
Literally 2 points
Hey!
away.
Here we go. By the way, as a quick reminder, Cast has one switch, and then I have a D4, a D6. Oh, and I have a switch too. I keep forgetting I have that. No scripts. Oh my god, Alex. Okay, so yes, you pick the lock perfectly. It's not too much and not too little. You do the exact motions and strength that you need to get that unlocked. And the door is able to open freely now if you so choose to do so.
The lock is open.
Thanks, man.
Would you like to Do the honors, Billy.
Oh, thank you.
Gently.
Everybody back up.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm hiding behind Billy.
I'm hiding behind Nira, behind Billy.
I'm hiding
Perfect.
behind Conrad, hiding behind Dara, hiding behind Billy.
Oh, put me at the end of that.
So your sort of train of children, you open the door. It opens almost silently. You can tell, particularly Conrad and Billy, you notice that these are really well-oiled hinges on this door. Good craftsmanship on the fit and everything. And it opens almost silently. It opens inward, so towards the tunnel that you're going into. And the first thing that you notice is some odd-looking glowing mushrooms growing all along the wall that none of you immediately know what type of mushrooms those are. You don't recognize them right off the bat. You also notice that the walls have water trickling down in little tiny streams. Nothing like running water, but just little drips. So, you hear like the drip, drip, drip. It's
Fascinating!
very humid in
I
this
want
room
samples.
and cold.
Is it a good idea to try to eat one of these?
No, Billy.
No. I want
no,
samples. I want to run tests.
It wasn't a good idea to eat the sardines, Billy.
No, it was
The glowing mushrooms with running water from an
it
unknown
was a
source.
very
flowing
good
up.
idea to eat the
Incorrect.
sardines because they
Oh.
were not out of date.
Mushrooms or murderer?
Well,
Mushrooms?
see, here's
Xavier pulls out some plastic tubs and uses the axe to get some mushrooms and
A quick question: was it the only exit
samples.
entrance
Yes.
to the room?
Yes.
So we have to go there anyway.
Are they still glowing after I cut them?
Well, first, let's do. You can do nimbleness or naturalist to try and sort of remove these from the wall in the best way to keep them intact.
So that's a nat 20 plus 4 for naturals.
Billy would like to do the same, but put them in the tin of sardines.
The tin is very much too small to fit them.
Can I do an education check to try to see if they're in my encyclopedia?
You absolutely can. So while you're doing that, quick question first for Gwen: are you prying them off the wall so that you're sort of getting the whole thing with your little climbing pick, or are you trying to cut them off the wall?
I'm trying to get them as intact as I can into the plastic container for samples.
Then I'm going to say you pry them off the wall, which gets their little sort of root system along with it. And you get it into a container without any problem. It's still glowing. It looks exactly like it did before. There
And
is a little
after-
bit of a weird residue left on the end of your climbing pick.
After I get it in the tub and put it in my backpack, I search through my books and see if I can find any reference to this.
Okay. We'll
Anywhere?
pause there.
Magic
We'll
7.
pause there while you're doing that. Magic, you got a 13.
Yep.
Since you have your encyclopedia there, I'm going to bump that up to a 15 and say that you do find an entry on these mushrooms. And you know that they are, what's the best way to describe this? Not exactly poisonous, but
Bad stuff.
yeah, they do have a toxin in them. They sort of have this weird sap in them. It's odd for a mushroom.
Do I
but
know
it
if
has-
it's psychoactive?
Yes, it very much is. But that's also what makes them glow. So it's great for a light source as long as you don't actually touch it or ingest it. So you do know that. But before you're able to relay that, Billy, were you grabbing those with your hands or with something else?
Well, he's like the can, is using the can to get them off.
Scrape.
Okay. Give me a quick nimbleness roll to see how dexterous you are in doing so.
Yeah. Real
I
quick.
am not dexterous.
Tech engineering. No, I'm just kidding.
And yet.
Oh my god.
And yet, all
You
the nat
use-
20s.
The sardine can lid to like perfectly remove this mushroom off the side of the wall, roots and all, without breaking any single cell on the mushroom. And so all of the sap is contained in the mushroom. Nothing leaks out amazingly. And it's just sitting in this empty sardine can, sort of resting on it like a plate.
Looking over Magic's shoulder at the encyclopedia and then up at Billy holding this perfectly extracted mushroom in a sardine can.
Oh!
Xavier, can I have one of your plastic bags?
Yeah. Here's one.
About the
Thank
time
you.
that he asks that, Xavier, that's when you find the same information that Magic just found.
Careful.
Don't
William.
eat them.
Don't touch it.
Why?
No, don't touch it, please.
They
Please don't
are.
touch it.
They are very psychoactive. And listen
Bad.
what it. Yeah,
And poisonous.
Oh,
Poisonous.
slightly.
So, well, no, let's not downplay it. Any amount
Might
of
get
poisonous
sickies.
is bad, really.
Don't want the
Well,
sickies.
I am not going to just.
psychoactive, because that sounds very enticing.
Yeah, no,
I-
don't say words that sound cool or fun or challenging. It bad. Really
It-
dangerous and bad.
It will.
It means
will
there are
make you.
poisons for your brain.
Yeah, it will make you see things that you're not supposed to see, and there's a slight chance that it will kill
No,
you.
no,
I
Billy,
mean-
it will fight you on a front that you are not well equipped to defend yourself with.
No,
I get
everything.
to fight differently.
Oh no,
Everything Conrad says is true, but you know,
literally.
if you want to be cool.
I want to
No.
be cool.
No,
Let's
it's not cool.
give
Doing-
the side
doing drugs
substance
is
to the
not
biggest guy
cool.
in the room.
Doing drugs is not cool. And
Well, not these ones, certainly.
Oh, okay. We gotta trade them to get the cool drugs. Okay, I understand.
no,
No,
these are.
that's the closest
No,
we're gonna get to
drugs
it.
that's
are
actually
cool.
quite a good idea.
Yeah, let's call it there. But this is enough. This is plenty. We don't need to take any more, please.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Okay, we've made it 3 feet through the wall, through the door, and nearly died. So excellent work. Let's do just a quick sort of rule from now on. The next time we find something glowing that is potentially dangerous, when Magic says, "Let me see if the encyclopedia has an entry on this," we wait before we perform any surgery.
I mean, I found the entry in my encyclopedia after I.
Yeah, after you understand. After, right?
Yeah.
Can you understand why maybe I would like to swap the order of that?
Xavier looks at Conrad, looks at the encyclopedia, looks at Conrad.
It's
Xavier
reading.
will- Xavier will remember this.
Quick reminder,
sincerely
Xavier,
hope so.
you do have some of that sap on the end of your climbing pick. What do you do
Oh.
about that?
I find a rag and wipe it off, and then put the rag in my backpack.
Oh,
Okay.
Do you not want that?
How sanitary.
That's mine, not
Okay.
yours.
Fair enough.
Should we close the door behind us? Is there a lock on this side?
Yes, that's the good question.
I thought you already locked it.
I
Y'all are
I
great.
think we were immediately distracted by these hazardous fungi.
Yeah, but Nira locked it, didn't they?
Nira, did you lock the door?
No, I just closed it.
No, see, that's sort of her modus operandi.
Yes,
It's
please.
breaking in, not sort of fortifying.
Please lock it.
I'll do my best to close it and lock it.
It's already closed.
Okay.
So it's Knopf kind of lock, or do we have a keyhole on this side too?
Yes,
GM?
you can.
Yeah.
Sorry, was responding to that 300 bits from April. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, I get another
Oh.
switch.
Hey.
Oh, I see how it is.
To answer your question, yes, there is a keyhole on both sides of the door, so you are able to pick the lock again, essentially, to relock it. And I won't make you re-roll for that. You did a fine job opening it, so you kind of remember where the tumblers are and everything, and you're able
Okay.
to lock it
Makes
again, no
sense.
problem. So it's
Good
locked
work, yeah.
behind you.
Thank you.
It's locked.
Yes. Now we are trapped in here with the deadly growths.
The good
Why
news is
so negative?
the good news is it's plenty bright because of these mushrooms on the wall. And as you all continue to sort of observe what's ahead of you. Oh, thank you, Gwen. I had forgotten about that. Just reminding me of character flaws for
Yeah,
the
one in
characters.
particular.
Yeah, perfect. So that might actually come up. As you're continuing to observe, you notice that a lot of these mushrooms are just naturally leaking their sap, and it's sort of oozing down the walls. So you all take note of the fact that you should avoid touching the walls. Aside from that, if you want to learn any more, that will require a sight roll. For anyone that wants to carefully observe their surroundings before moving forward, rather than
Yes,
cursory.
Yes.
Xavier definitely does.
And
I think-
it's modus operandi for Nira too.
Billy
Oh,
would like to.
That was actually a really good roll. It was 17
And us.
plus 4.
Entire day with my sight roll 11.
Oh.
What was that, Michael?
Billy would talk to the back, going, "Squeaker, squeak, squeak. You see anything dangerous about this route?"
Let's find out.
We've displaced Stacy quite a bit.
Which of course is Princess Pouty Pants Bat speak for. This seems like a perfectly safe tunnel.
The bat's the murderer. That's
Okay,
my working theory.
Conrad, no. That right there, that's speciesist, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think that's any trait unique to the
I
bat
believe
in
that
particular.
was a joke.
Okay,
I believe that
the
was a
bat
joke.
says it's safe, so we're good.
All right.
Oh, yay.
So,
Just-
rewinding real quick. So Econorlax, you got an 11 on your sight. Xavier got a 21 for sight. So, Xavier, you actually notice there's a handful of the mushrooms here and there on the ground as well. There's plenty of room on the ground that you can walk around them. But it does mean that if you want to avoid stepping on any of them, that you kind of have to watch your step and take things slow.
Yeah, I point this out to everyone, and I say, Billy, whatever you're going to do, do not step on these mushrooms.
Well, I think the suit will protect me from that.
I
so
don't think the suit.
Coat. Yeah, the coat.
Oh yeah, coat. Then why
Yeah.
did it have these little footsies things that I put my foot in, man? If it's
You're
not a
wearing
suit.
overalls. Goodness.
I
What
don't
was
know
that?
either because it is literally a coat.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that's player mixing things up. My bad.
It's okay. Hey, maybe Billy got just a tiny speck of that sap on his finger
Yeah.
or something for a second there.
Why has he got sleeves for my legs?
I don't think your your clothing will protect you from absorbing that stuff into your skin.
No.
Oh, so you're saying it's a challenge to avoid them?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes, that's exactly what
Now,
I'm saying.
just as you can speak bat, I can speak fungus, Billy, and I heard every single fungus within earshot saying that they did not think you capable of avoiding every one of them.
Okay, I will prove you wrong. Mushrooms.
Excellent,
Like
but
bending down and you.
yes. So let's go delicately.
Oh my god.
I believe in you.
Okay. So now that you're all walking carefully, you're able to avoid stepping on the mushrooms. You get a little further down the tunnel, and it's still mushrooms for as far as you can see. But you come across a fork in the path. There is a path going to the left, path going to the right, and one going ahead of you. So it's a sort of a cross tunnel.
What does the map say?
Are we still on the borders of it?
Xavier
yes, you're
pulls out the
still
map.
very much within the map.
Squeakerson?
I'm not sure if the bat will be of much. Well,
What
Let's
did you say
hear
to
out.
that?
Any of these look like good places to go?
Which of course means I don't know.
We've already reached the sort of first destination that we'd set on the map. Is our mission now?
Oh yes.
Are we trying to lap around and get back home?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Wait,
Okay.
I thought we were stopping for the night.
Well, I suppose we'd have to find somewhere safe first. That does
Yes.
sound nice. We've been going at it for some time. These fungal growths aren't marked on the map at all, are they?
Are they?
Well, let me have you roll naturalist or education. Anyone that wants to look at the map and
So
try
I
and
can
decipher it.
roll. I can roll education, and then if I don't like it, I can roll again. Okay. Oh, yes, I do want to roll again. 'Cause that was a 7, and that was caught. So that was a 9 plus education, which would be 4, so 13.
Okay. You're not quite sure where to go looking at the map. You're having a little bit of confusion reading it, but Billy takes a look at it and goes, "Oh yeah, here's the mushrooms on the map." So you can tell, Billy, if you go left, it does circle around. However, it's continuing at an incline, so you're basically going to the second level of tunnels, which is where all of your parents told you to not go past. So the second level is okay, according to your folks, but they did ask you not to go past that point. The one going to the right, there's a little trail, and it looks like there's a dead end with a lake, and what you're guessing is some sort of waterfall. It's kind of hard to read what's on the map there, but there's also a mushroom symbol on that as well. And then continuing ahead, it looks like it continues to go up, possibly even up to the third level of tunnels.
So
Oh
here's
dear.
our options. We got one that goes to level 2. That one, like my dad says, that's okay. We shouldn't go past. The middle goes past the safe zone. The third has a waterfall, so we can get water and have a nice resting place, but it also has mushrooms.
And do we know enough about these mushrooms to know whether or not the water would be contaminated, sort of by their presence?
Well, here's what I would think. Let's just, for a strategical point of view, that's a place where we would be safe, and anything that tries to attack us, we would get the jump on them because it's a funnel point, so that we can use our numbers against them. So
Sure.
it's a
Using the-
location safe, but maybe the stuff near it not so safe.
Also, Xavier and Magic are both able to make education rolls to see if they know about the water question.
Yeah, the water question. Yeah, that's what I wanted
Education roll.
to. Oh, yes, that's a 19 total.
19.
Nice.
So between the two of you, for sure, you know that it largely depends on where the mushrooms are. So if they're like growing in the lake or the pool, it's probably not a good idea to drink that water. But if you can tell where the source is coming from and you don't see any mushrooms like in its direct path, then it's probably okay. It really just depends on the placement of the water to the mushrooms.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
I don't trust any water near mushrooms. Just unless we know for sure the source.
It sounds tenuous at best.
Well, yeah, but it's a perfect place for us to set up camp.
Yes,
Mm,
I'm with Billy on this. We need sleep. We need food. We need rest. We need.
All right, I'm sold.
Yeah.
It just sounds like every need will be met except for the need for water. So we might go thirsty tonight.
Maybe.
What? Did you not bring some dehydrated water?
I brought a toothbrush.
Wait, Billy, do you not know what the word dehydrated means?
Yeah. All we gotta do is add some oxygen to it.
Awful. Some water packets.
So it's basically a packet of hydrogen.
Yeah, so it's a small explosion, and then you're left with some droplets scattered around the room. Not entirely efficient.
I love that idea.
Nira is not looking at the map because
let's call that Plan Z.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh.
I think we should at least get it up to at least a Plan F. Come on, higher up.
I read in
Yeah.
our history books that people called it Zed. Not Z.
It depends which books you read.
Yeah. I have
Nira,
books that say both.
do you have any
Here.
objections to the lake?
I was not looking at the map because they are holding it too high, obviously, and I spent the entire time smelling all the free tunnels and hearing into them.
You want me to pick up?
Okay.
No. I'm not saying that in character. I'm just saying it to the players.
Oh, my bad.
So, what was the result? Should I roll my gut feeling?
No. You can get this for free. The tunnel ahead of you sounds and smells pretty much the exact same as where you're standing. The one to the left is quieter. You don't really hear much at all, and it smells a little drier. There's less humidity coming from the left one. The one that goes down to the lake, obviously a lot more humid, and it smells more earthy, like soil, and slightly rotten because of there's an increase of fungus the more you go down that tunnel.
Yeah, but but how is my gut feeling about the safety?
Oh, as far as safety goes, about the same on all three. There's no real. I guess go ahead and roll. There might be a slight difference. Let's see how high you get. 28. Okay.
Hey.
You feel like the second level is pretty safe, so the tunnel going to the left, relatively safe compared to everything else that you're looking at right now. The tunnel ahead is an unknown, so that makes you kind of uneasy. The tunnel to the right seems like it'd be a good place to set up camp, but there's, from what you smelled, seems like there's more mushrooms, so probably need to be a little bit more cautious. But as far as you can tell, it's about 6 of one, half dozen of the other, really.
Okay, so I'm answering the question. I was listening to your discussion about the directions, and I think I agree with Billy. The mushrooms are not the best, and it's too much water for my taste, but the location is the safest, the one with waterfall.
All right. Well, I certainly trust the two of you, perhaps more than my own intuition.
Yeah.
We will just need to find some dry spot there.
Well, I'm also exhausted. let's go and see if we can set up this ever auspicious tent.
And then tomorrow we can go back down that scary tunnel.
Yes, hopefully we're not murdered in our sleep.
Okay, how about this? If you're so worried about a murderer, we'll go in ships, okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You take the first shift since you're the most worried, Conrad.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and that way, kind of like if you get worried, you scream, and we'll do that one by one until I'm last, so I get to sleep through all of this. Sound like a plan?
Excellent. Yes, you will all be very safe under my watchful care.
This sounds like the best plan.
Of course. Well,
Okay.
let's go.
So you're all going towards the lake then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you turn off in that direction. Of course, being careful to step around all the mushrooms. As you get into the sort of room with the lake, it opens up into a small cavern. So the ceiling is extremely high. You can't even see the ceiling really. The light doesn't reach that far, even with a flashlight. So Xavier and Magic, and possibly even Billy, I'd say you probably know that this was probably a shaft, like an air shaft for the old mines. It probably doesn't go all the way up to the surface at this point, because, it's been hundreds of years. There's probably been cave-ins, or it may have been sealed off, something like that. But you know that this probably goes up quite a ways, just straight up in the air.
Xavier, make note. This is a possible way to go up.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes.
Along the back wall, there's water just running down the back wall. So the back wall, as you shine a light on it, is very shiny and ripply because water is running down it. It's not like a waterfall exactly, because it's very much running along the surface of the wall.
Water flow.
Yeah, but it is an unbroken flow. It's not trickling, it's just steadily flowing down. And it's pulled up in this sort of basin to your left as you're coming through the tunnel. And the water looks clear, it doesn't look dirty. And as far as you can tell, there's no mushrooms along the wall where the water's coming from. There's none along the edge of the little pool. But to your right, there are a large number of those mushrooms, including some that have grown rather large, larger than even Nira. And they pretty much illuminate the entire cavern. They are dripping some little bits of that sap, but it seems to just sort of pool up at the base of these giant mushrooms, and it doesn't seem to be running, towards the rest of the path or anything like that. It seems pretty contained. But yeah, it's sort of if you've ever seen like Disney's Alice in Wonderland with the area with the caterpillar, think like that plus like Aberration from Ark, if you ever played that. So a lot of blues and purples and greens, and very, very dark except for these glowing patches which cast this sort of eerie, multicolored light against everything. It's absolutely beautiful, but given your current situation, probably find it a little bit creepy.
Xavier doesn't.
Billy doesn't.
Conrad does.
I do too.
Xavier takes note of all of this in his journal.
Right.
Okay.
Billy will just unzip so can pull the big tent out from the backpack, find a clear spot, and then just set it up and have a couple of those pittons in the actual stands.
Okay. Let's do either nimbleness or naturalist to see how well you set up this tent.
Remind me to write that thank you note for Billy's parents.
15? Yeah, you do an adequate job setting up the tent in a spot that looks pretty safe. It's away from the mushrooms, and this tent has a floor to it, so you don't have to worry about anything that was on the ground. And it's big enough to fit all of you. You're going to be a little cozy, but all of you can fit inside the tent. Do you explore this cavern a little bit more? Do you go straight to bed? What do you all do?
Billy goes straight to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suppose it wouldn't be an awful idea to at least just get a lay of our immediate surroundings, such that we know what.
I take a good look at things here.
Okay.
Yes.
Your best options here are sight, or if you're trying to investigate, why it's shaped the way it is, or something about why those mushrooms are the way they are. A naturalist would be.
I don't know. I mean, just take a good look, not think about it.
I
Okay.
will.
Yeah,
Sight.
Xavier's rolling naturalist.
it's sight.
16 for
Okay.
sight.
Oh, that's that one.
Oof.
Oof.
Okay.
Finally.
15 for sight. It's 15 to 16 for sight. So what you notice as you look around, there do seem to be some tunnels. So trying to think of how to describe this. So if you're standing with your back to the entrance of the tunnel, so where you came from, to your left is the pool. Directly ahead of you is the tent, and then behind the tent is the wall that's going, steadily up. And you notice there are some tunnels way up on the wall
Oh dear.
that seem to sort of circle around, almost like there's to compare it to a piece of architecture, like a balcony that's set into the wall that kind of curves around. It looks like it's attached to another tunnel. Your best guess is that, maybe that's an abandoned tunnel, or maybe it was naturally occurring, or something like that. But it doesn't seem to be, anything that anybody uses. It's just sort of there. You don't really get a creepy feeling off of it or anything. It's just you notice that it's not a sheer wall. Perhaps there's even a way to get up there from another tunnel. Other than that, you notice that the large mushrooms, kind of confusing at first. I'd say probably, Callan, you're not quite sure if you saw this or not. Conrad probably reacts to it and then kind of looks again, and it doesn't do anything. You notice one of the big mushrooms move. Not like walk, but like just almost like quiver in place. And then Nira, you definitely notice it do that.
I don't like these shrooms.
No. No.
So you're seeing
I
nothing?
don't trust these things.
We're gonna get to Xavier in a sec.
Squeakers.
As the two of you are watching that mushroom quiver, Xavier, you did a naturalist roll, right?
Yeah.
You try to inspect this sort of pool of sap that's underneath one of the larger ones. And as you're leaning over, to inspect it, being very careful not to touch it, the large mushroom that you're under quivers, and several drops of the sap land on your head. Give me a might roll.
Okay. So that's a 12.
Total?
Yeah, because I have no bonus.
Oh, goody. How to describe what you are experiencing right now? So this may
the
take a
worst
second to
shroom
describe. But as you sort of arch your back suddenly, because you just got sap on your head, and it's alarming because it's bad. But as you sort of jerk your head up, you squint at the big mushroom, and it's grown a face. It's got eyes and a mouth, and it's just smiling, and it seems like the most friendliest mushroom you've ever seen. And you're just suddenly filled with a feeling of kinship and friendship for this mushroom, and you just have the strongest desire to give it a big hug. And it even grows arms, and it goes, "Hi, friend, give me a hug." Nira and Conrad, you notice that Xavier is slowly, with arms wide open, slowly stepping towards this mushroom.
No, Xavier's sitting down and laughing a lot, and then stand up and while still laughing is going to go out to hug it.
Did we see the drops fall on Xavier?
No.
Okay,
But
so we just see this part.
You do notice Xavier laughing, kind of like a crazy
Bursting
person,
out laughing.
and
I think
trying to hug the mushroom.
Billy,
Billy,
Xavier,
I
the
think he got
pursuit of
some
knowledge. Pursuit of knowledge has some limits.
Pursuit of knowledge has no limits.
Oh dear, I've seen them like this
Billy,
before.
can you help here?
Billy.
Billy says to the Squeaker, you think this is a safe place to set up?
No, Billy. We're not camping right now. We're out.
So the bat, Stacy, goes, which of course means, I've never been in this cave. I'm not quite sure, but it's pretty.
Was the bat on Xavier's shoulder still?
No, I'm gonna say the bat was
Okay.
was in the tent at this point.
Okay.
Because the bat should not be subjected to this.
Yes, that seems fair. Conrad.
Billy, come here, please.
Conrad rushes forward to try and help Xavier, but I think he is sort of in a moment of indecision, unsure how, and is just sort of standing there, like gesturing.
Xavier, give me a discipline roll at this point. Now that the toxin is set in.
Ooh, it's a 14 total.
Hey,
14 total.
is now a good time to point out that Xavier's unlucky?
I was actually about to mention that. Great minds. Yeah, unfortunately, you're unlucky, so re-roll that.
Awesome. That was a 15.
Okay, fair enough. So what you see, you don't see Nira and Conrad, your trusted friends of old. You see, Nira is now like a furry Klingon. Would be my best way to describe what Nira looks like to you at the moment. So no longer small, double your height, covered in fur, and there's just like this angry-looking, ridged forehead face. And then Conrad basically looks like Slenderman.
Awful.
No face, very skinny and wiggly. This is what you see, but thanks to your mental discipline, your cynicism from reading all of these scientific texts, you're pretty sure what you're seeing isn't real, but it's still unnerving. You still have a very strong urge to give this mushroom a hug.
Xavier is just insane at this point. Just I'm still going to give it a hug.
Okay.
Squeakerson, stay here. I'm gonna go and check out what that craziness is about. Billy says to the bat.
Okay.
Where's magic in all this?
That's a good question.
I thought I went to sleep in the tent.
Oh,
Okay. Well, you are, if you're if you've fallen asleep, you're awakened to the sound of maniacal laughter outside, and
Right, yeah.
you hear Conrad and
me
Nira
yelling
going,
for beer.
"No, no,
Actually,
no, no, no."
I wasn't asleep. I was in the tent writing my grateful letter, and then I heard all
Nice.
that. Yeah,
Perfect.
So you
Do
can
you react
yell.
to what you hear?
Yeah, I run out right away with toothbrush in hand.
Okay. So Billy and Magic, you probably notice by the time you're coming out of the tent, Xavier is probably 2 feet away, 1 foot in the sap puddle. So the at least one shoe is getting coated in this stuff.
Oh,
Arms wide open, ready to hug this mushroom. Nira and Conrad, you do have a chance to try to bolt forward and stop Xavier from hugging this mushroom. Do you do so?
I suppose we will have to try.
I like the mask to change his motion in any meaningful way.
Magic, you might want to grab some water because I have a dumb plan for this.
Oh no.
What's your
Oh
plan?
no.
No.
Well, you get yourself some clean water and on hand, and that way maybe I don't have to have this plan work out. But
Yes, Conrad will rush forward and try and stop Xavier from hugging the deadly mushroom.
Okay, give me a nimbleness roll. Nira, you can do the same thing if you'd like.
Oh, I said I don't think I have the mask to actually alter
Oh,
Xavier's
I miss-
movement in a way.
I misunderstood you. Okay, that makes sense. 20. Okay. You sprint forward. You're able to get to Xavier in time. In what way do you try to stop Xavier?
I will grab Xavier by. I'll grab a book from Xavier's backpack,
Okay.
like something slung over the shoulder. Say, Xavier, this way, come on.
Xavier will run after the book.
Okay. Yes.
Similarly, not confident in my ability to wrestle Xavier away from this mushroom,
That's
but hoping
fair.
to entice them.
Xavier, give me another discipline roll.
So that was a 16. Plus 4 is 20.
20. Okay.
As-
20 total.
So you see what should be creeping you out. It's still Slenderman, but he's holding your favorite book in one hand, and in the other hand, it's the sequel that no one ever knew was written. And you really want to read that sequel. So you're creeped out that it's Slenderman, but you're also really, really attracted to that sequel, and you really want to read it. You forget about the mushroom that wants to give you a hug. And you're able to follow Conrad.
Yeah.
Stepping out from the puddle of yuck.
Yeah. So you are leaving footprints, glowing yellow footprints from 1 foot as you turn around and start following Conrad.
Magic, do you got the water ready?
Give me that book.
Oh, I hate this. Quite long.
Give me the book. Give me the book.
What do you want me to do with the water?
Help.
Okay, you're gonna get ready. I'm gonna try to rope Xavier here, and
Okay.
we get him near. You can, you will throw the water right into his face. If that doesn't work, we're gonna try to drag him into the lake.
The poisonous lake.
Yeah.
No. yeah, that one.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, you got a better idea?
I
Well,
have
no,
some water.
I'll throw the water on its face, but like I don't think
Yeah,
we should
and
drag him
Billy
into
is
the-
like, have the rope ready and like tossing it around,
all right,
like,
all right,
ready
let's
to
do it.
lasso.
Let's do it.
Just a quick note for Magic. You do still have your encyclopedia, and you could see if there's if it says anything about like an antidote or a treatment for toxin exposure.
How do we fix this?
Yes, I will do that. Education.
And I'll
Education,
take
yeah.
my bottle of water from my backpack, from my small backpack, and ready to wash things.
Then
Is that
Billy will
with
try to
plus
lasso.
2 from the encyclopedia?
Even with the extra there, you're too distracted by what's going on, and you're skimming too fast. You miss the part about treatment. You just in a panic go, I don't know.
Sounds about right.
You need to roll to rope Xavier.
Are you trying to lasso him?
Yes. With the rope that's tied to a pitten.
I'm gonna say that Xavier's too high to avoid it. Too high and distracted. So let's just call that a nimbleness roll to see how dexterous you are and flinging it over his head. 14.
Oh.
Nice.
You try. So close. You're so close. But you just narrowly miss getting it over Xavier's head. Xavier, you glance over and you notice
A snake?
basically, I mean, Xavier doesn't know who this is, but I think we all will. Jack Black, holding like
Now it's very Goosebumps.
like a giant rope made out of spaghetti noodles, and it's just wetly slapped across your face.
Just tackle him down, Billy. He has it only on his foot.
I had a dream about this.
Just like the Woods Witch told me. Can I call out to Magic? Magic's holding the encyclopedia, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm holding the precious book that Xavier really wants.
Uh-huh.
I'd say
Yes.
swap.
Swap what?
Like try and swap books. Like give me a chance to flick through, see if I can find how to fix this.
Billy, just
Okay,
catch
I'm
him
gonna
and hold
try
him.
and pull up the spaghetti again and try again. Maybe I
Okay.
can be a good spaghetti western.
It's spaghetti western. Awful.
I see what you did there.
I love
That's great.
it.
But that would only work if Magic wanted to swap books.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Yeah, I failed, so let's see if you're better.
Give it a try.
So that was a 1 on
What am I rolling?
lasso.
Yeah.
Nimbleness,
Nimbleness,
for
okay.
Conrad and Magic to toss and catch the books at the same time. Yeah, the toss of the encyclopedia is a little oops, okay, is a little precarious, but it's a heavy encyclopedia. But Conrad, you're anticipating this because you know it's heavy, and so you're able to catch it. So you
Full of
swap books
knowledge.
just fine. Xavier, your focus is now on Magic. Magic has the sequel.
No, my book.
May I ask what this
Conrad.
series is?
I don't. It's
So the
what
book.
book would it be, Xavier?
Yes, the book would be. The book would be this world's equivalent of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein,
Oh,
Okay.
and it would be the sequel to that, which was never.
Frankenstein 2.
Oh, so this is about Adam.
Okay. So yes, that's what you're doing. Conrad, do an education roll. Billy, your hand slips. You end up lassoing yourself. You're tied up in the rope, and you fall over and roll into the pool,
Lake.
the lake of water. It's extremely cold. But your head's above
Right.
water. You're not drowning, but you are very wet, and you're tangled up in this rope.
I got a 15 and then used Learner to reroll and got a 14.
So
trying to
14.
frantically flick through this book and find the particular remedies for this fungus.
Gotcha. I feel bad for you. I'm going to gift you one of my d6s. Go ahead and roll a d6 because you're so close to figuring this out.
Yeah, you're one away.
/R1d6.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's 18 or 19. I think 18.
18, yeah.
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 Okay. So yeah, you're able to figure this out, but between or among all of you that have been trying to do this, the treatment is to wash the affected area, and the effect should wear off within 1 to 2 hours.
Oh goodness.
Once you've washed it off.
We've got to clean it and then sort of hold them down and wait. Billy, could you help? Oh dear.
I have an idea from this position. Billy could just will flop over, get a mouthful of water, flop back up, and shoot a mouthful of water at Xavier.
Well,
I'm kind of lost in this madness.
I'm gonna use that 1d4 I think we have.
No, we
You're
don't.
actually
I
out.
don't
You've
believe
got to
so.
switch, and that's it.
no, God has
Okay,
already
but-
tried to help us once.
Well, how would a switch help us?
I don't think it would in this case.
I don't think it would.
Don't see.
Well, I
It's-
tried nothing, and I'm out of ideas.
you try to spit the water at Xavier, but it comes up a bit short.
Magic, just hold her down. Just hold him down.
Also, I forgot to mention, Conrad, there is an actual antidote, but you don't have any of the materials you need to make that or have it on hand.
Excellent. Delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, is Billy, do we assume from Billy sort of starting to roleplay as a whale of some description that he also is under the influence?
Let's do a discipline roll. Well, let's see what you
Do we
infer.
know whether or not this water is sort of potent?
From everything that you observed, it should be fine.
Okay. Okay, so
it is close to the mushrooms, but it does not seem to be contaminated by them.
I look from Magic to Xavier to Billy. I say, I'm sorry, friend. Magic, toss the book in the lake.
Are you sure? What do you? What?
I'm very certain.
Why?
We need to clean him, and if we touch him, we'll be changed too.
But why throw the book in the lake? What does that do?
Well, he'll follow it.
Billy's gonna try to roll out of the lake.
Oh, okay.
To do so.
All right. Nimbleness or might? I don't know. Try to throw the book. Is that what? Do I roll for that or?
Yeah, just do a might roll to see how well you're able to sort of chuck it.
Like,
Oh, curses!
All right. Yes, Billy.
distracted by my helmet.
It falls like 2 feet from you.
Yeah.
Oh, good effort.
Oh, 2 feet. That was more than I thought.
Catch that book and just run with it towards the lake.
Okay. Let's see. You grab it. You start running towards the lake. Xavier, you now see the furry Klingon cat has picked up your favorite book that you want to read the sequel to, and is charging towards the lake.
And Jack Black is tied up with Spaghetti trying to get out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What do I need to roll? Roll out of the lake.
You're gonna need some help to get out of the rope. You got out of the lake just fine.
Oh.
But you're gonna need help to get untied.
Is Xavier following Nira?
Yeah, Xavier's running
Okay.
after the book.
I'm
Okay.
waiting till Xavier is close, and only when he's close, I toss the book to the lake from the respectable distance of 2 feet, I guess, not more.
Xavier will try to catch the book.
Okay. Give me a nimbleness roll at a -5.
So I have a +0 and a -5. Okay.
Excellent.
So it's just -5. Just -5.
It's fine.
It's fine.
This whole time I'm just picturing Jack Black doing some like metal air raid scream.
that's-
Like, what?
That's a 2. Turtle.
Total. You try to catch it. You try to do like the whole, like the jump dive football catch, and like pull it to your chest. As far as you know, you grab it. You cradle this precious book to your chest, and you land safely on the ground. What actually happens is you go no.
I attack myself with the coat to avoid the splash.
Yeah, and you trip over your own feet and fall face first into the lake. You miss the book by like 3 yards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing.
And all of you just hear this.
I rush in and help them out.
Billy will try to spin out of the rope.
Okay, you try.
I
You
will
just
go
kind of roll
to help.
along the ground.
The rope is something I can help with, so I will try to find the beginning.
Okay. It takes you a few minutes, but you're able to get Billy untangled from the rope. So like Conrad, you were going to help Xavier? Is that right?
Yeah, just to make sure they don't drown.
Okay. You're able to flip them over so they're not drowning, which consequently washes the stuff off their head. Xavier, you're in your mind, you're still perfectly dry, and you're cradling this book and reading a very weird story about Frankenstein.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, I can imagine.
I'm sorry.
I have an idea.
It's like the worst fan fiction ever, but you're really into it.
And it's like Adam arguing against Frankenstein for ownership of his own name.
Sure. Something like that.
The husband of Frankenstein.
Do you all do anything
Oh,
else over the
gosh.
next hour or two, other than try to get dry and whatnot?
We just keep tabs on Xavier, make sure that they're sort of okay. Try to.
You just see Xavier flipping through an imaginary book, going as happy as can be.
We're all in agreement. He's not coming in a tent, right?
well, not until he's cleaned up, but
Okay.
they'll need to
We
sleep
need
as
to
well.
do lots of drying too.
Yes.
So
I try to retrieve the book from the water if it's not sunk to the black depths.
it's still floating. It's got some, it's waterlogged. But if you hang it out,
It's
It
a
won't look
really,
the prettiest, but
really,
it's-
really thick book.
yeah, I mean, you can salvage it. It'll still be readable. It just won't look the best.
Oh goodness.
I want to look
I-
through,
I-
I want
I
to look
hope you-
through Xavier's other books to see if he has a book that I've heard of that I've been wanting to read. I figured it's called Fake Out Parasite something.
Xavier
Blast from the
definitely,
blast.
Make Out
Xavier
Parasite.
definitely has Make Up Paradise.
Make Out Paradise. That's what it was.
Xavier
so my
definitely
teacher-
has that.
My
by the
teacher
way.
told me about these books.
Oh my gosh.
The
Yeah,
cult
give
of
me-
Krylens.
We'll just do a nimbleness roll as you dig around in Xavier's bag for this book.
Oh, Xavier
15.
left his bag at the tent, by the way.
Oh.
Okay. So you dig through the bag, and you feel something kind of sticky on the back of your hand. You pull your hand out of the bag, and there's a rag with a little bit of mushroom sap on it that Xavier had wiped his climbing pick off with and shoved into his bag.
Magic, I'm sorry, you're going in the lake. Give me the book, you're going in the lake.
No, that's Make
Go,
Out
go.
Yeah, Billy is just picks some and throws them in the lake.
Perfect. Not even gonna make you roll for that. Magic, you end up in the lake. But by the time you hit the water, it feels like you're diving into a pool of your favorite warm liquidy food. So like if you have a particular stew or soup that you just think is the best in the world, you're like swimming in it and it feels amazing.
Well, considering where we came from, what is that, like dust soup or something?
No, you've got
Scrap soup.
You've got normal food there
okay.
in the city. Life has adapted to
Cool.
to
Miso
living in
soup.
the caverns. You have vegetables and meat and all that sort of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, Jello, April suggests. Whatever it is that is your favorite soup-like comfort food, you're swimming around
Miso
it, you
soup.
feel happy as a clam. And about an hour or so later, both you and Xavier kind of come to your senses and have splitting headaches, but you're fine.
I'm using some stick to throw that rock also into the lake.
Perfect.
Decontaminate.
So, with all the excitement over, you are at a point where you can start to sleep. I assume you all do so.
Yes,
Eventually.
but I'm thinking it's in the shifts where out of the 3 of us that didn't get in the lake are making sure the other 2 don't get in the tent.
Okay.
Yes, there is one sober person awake at any point in time.
Okay. So once Xavier and Magic have recovered, who has the second watch after that?
We said I would take the first one, I suppose.
Yep.
So Billy said that they wanted to be woken up last.
I'll take the worst one because cats are a little nocturnal. I think Catarans have that a little left from their ancestors, so.
Sure.
Nira, your turn.
So Nira is on the second watch then, right? Perfect. Give me a sight and a hearing roll.
Let's start with sight. 16 and hearing 19.
So as you're standing watch, probably about 30 minutes in, so Conrad's asleep, everybody's asleep except for you. You hear that noise again, that and as you look around to see where it's coming from, you notice one of the large mushrooms shake again, and the other smaller mushrooms beneath it start to move around a little bit. And that's when you notice these sort of purpley looking like moss-like tendrils creeping along the ground coming towards the party. And that's where we'll end the session.
And the next session will definitely start with a scream.
So Billy!
Billy!
Perfect, that was so much fun.
Oh, goodness.
Thank you, April, for the 300 bits. Much appreciated. Thank you, everybody who redeemed guild coins. Alex, I do have written down in my notebook Snookum, so the next time an NPC does come up, I will be sure to use that for you.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. We'll go around and do our favorite parts and everything. We'll go reverse order. So, Callan, we'll start with you. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next online?
Oh goodness. That was lovely. That was so wonderful. Favorite part. I don't know if this is like a wholesome cop out, but like just having the whole gang together was really cool. It was lovely getting to meet the 2 of you, players and characters. And I really enjoyed the team dynamic the whole way through. Favorite part specifically would probably be the our immediate response to the first challenge upon our journey, which was 2 of us leaping into lockers, one picking one up with a bludgeon, and Magic, renewed by the power of fashion, sprinting down a dark tunnel towards danger. That was excellent.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that was lovely. Next, find me online, either on Twitter or right back here, same time next week. Really excited.
Perfect. Oh yeah, as a quick reminder, you can find all of us on Twitter at the tags right below our faces here. So all of our tags are right below us. With that, we'll pass it on to Gwen. What was your favorite part, and what can we find you doing next?
So my favorite part was definitely the conga line. of
Oh yeah.
hiding behind Billy. That was just everyone behind Billy.
That was fantastic.
But also Billy actually wanting to go down the darkest scary tunnel, and Xavier for some reason not wanting to go down the tunnel. But it was scary. The scary tunnel, yeah, because it was scary.
Perfect. And then
but yeah, you can find me next tomorrow, actually.
tomorrow, 7 p.m. Mountain Time,
Yeah.
9 p.m. Eastern, for Hunters of Calamity, our Borderlands-inspired Monster of the Week game. Perfect. And then pass it on to Ty. What was your favorite part, and where can we see you next online?
Yeah, my favorite part, Callan already said it, but you know, my fashion sense being discovered there, that was definitely my favorite part. In addition with having somebody to hold their hand while not being the only scaredy cat, you know, and yeah, so that was
so wholesome.
pretty cool.
That was
And,
lovely. I'm glad I'm not alone.
And yeah, you can find me on Twitter with my name below, and on Twitch, and here next week as well.
Awesome. We'll pass it on to Econorlax. What was your favorite part?
Yeah.
And
My
Where
favorite
can we
part
find you
was definitely Billy going all krong on the bat with the squeaky squeak squeak.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
And you can find me next week here, or maybe I will stream some game in the week, but I'm not sure if I will manage to set up my individual streaming by next week. So next week,
Okay.
most probably here.
Awesome. And then last but not least, Michael, what was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
Well, I kind of would say I have two. One for personal was the whole bat scene in particular. That one I love both. Like Nera, just so adorable.
That was cute.
Yeah, and the other one was probably me being Jack Black throwing spaghetti.
Yeah, that's one for the ages.
It really is one for the ages.
Oh, fantastic. Where can we find you next online?
Most of the time I'm just here and there. I'm mostly on Twitter, as it says right there, Michael Wayne right there on Twitter. I make GIFs. You give me a clip, I'll make you a GIF. I think not this coming week, but next week, I think it's the 21st or the 22nd, the Princess Bride game with My Lady Saito.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where I will be the giant.
Sounds awesome.
That's fantastic. Incidentally, that's who we're going to raid here in just a moment too. So that's perfect. So if you're not already following Saito, definitely give her a follow when we head over there. As we need a raid cry as well. So if you have a particular favorite line from the game today, feel free to throw that in chat and we'll pick a raid call. As for my favorite part, I have two. Definitely the Kronk bat scene. I did not see that coming, so that was just really fun. Getting to do the voice too, because I had to come up like, all right, well, how does this bat sound like? Then I just kind of went with that sound effect. So that was fun. And then the mushroom trip, that whole thing was just really fun. I'm like, how weird can I make this?
Oh.
So I think those were my favorite parts. As for where you can find me next, much like Gwen, I will be here tomorrow GMing Hunters of Calamity. That's 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Same place, where we'll have our Hunters cast. It should be pretty fun. They just got their first taste of killing some bandits, and just got a Jeep. So it should be pretty fun seeing what they do and where they go. I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, you can find me at Twitter. I'm pretty much on Twitter 24/7, assuming I'm not asleep. So if you message me there, I will usually see it pretty quickly. If you would like to get in on a game, we do community games every Friday, usually a one-shot. This coming Friday, it will be our Peasant Strike Back Season 1.5. We're doing an episode a month until May, when we'll start our second season, or proper second season of that. But most every other Friday, we'll be doing a one-shot where we do have the community come in and DM or play. Pulling up the schedule real quick, I can tell you exactly when the next one is, if my spreadsheet will load. And there we go. So we've got a game on the 31st. I'll be running a game called Trans is Magic, which is about basically a magic school for transgender and non-binary people. It should be really fun. All the characters will be transgender or non-binary. If you would like to play in that, anyone is welcome to sign up. Transgender and non-binary players will get priority for the casting on that, but it should be pretty fun. It's a bit of a response to some things that happened recently with a famous author. And so that should be pretty fun. Aside from that, on the 7th, that is completely open if you'd like to DM a game and you want a place to try that out. The 7th is open. We got player spots open for that. And then again on the 21st, we're doing a deep ocean survival game, and I've got spots open for that. So if you want to play or DM in anything, just shoot me a DM on Twitter or Twitch or on Discord, and I'll get you in a game. And with that, I think we're going to go on a raid. Yes, the turf that shall not be named, exactly. With that, I think we're going to go with Squeak, Squeak, Squeaky, Squeak for our raid call. And let me just get that into chat.
Yes.
And then we will see you. Oops. There we go. And then I will see you tomorrow. Bye.